Hey, so we are now live. It is, hey Miranda Lee, good to see you. What is it? It's 12:55, so I'm a little early. Today is the 2nd of March. We're finally in the month of March, which doesn't mean much around here because it's still freezing cold out. It's been quite the week. Hey, Paula Fitzhenry, how are you? Good to see Miranda Lee. I'm fine. Been a fairly long week, but it's over. It's Saturday, so Saturday. Technically, it's Sunday. But anyways, good to see everybody. Hope everybody's well. I know it's been a long week for me. I was just over there on JCN's channel. Hey, buddy, what's going on? Mino Dino's here. JCN's having a great live over there with Arctic True Fox, talking about the Sebastian Rogers case and other stuff. Hope I'm not bumping into her. Hey, Big Fish, Small Pond, good to see you. Good to see everybody. This week here, I wanted to do an update on the Evansdale case this week, but I'm not going to be able to do that because there's too many other things going on. I'll try to reschedule that for next week. That's why I don't put out a notification early because I always change my mind at the last second to do shit. But we're going to go over some of the true crime cases of the week, and we're also going to go over the missing case of the week. And then we'll go over a couple other things. But other than that, I'll play an intro and we'll get going. It's good to see everybody in the chat. Hope everybody's good. And I'll be right back. I'll try to play an intro. Let me do this here. And we'll get going. Perfect. All right. So I'll be right back. Good to see everybody. Okay, so we're live. Sorry, I had to take care of a dog for a second. But we are here. It is, what time is it? It's almost 1 o'clock now. Good to see everybody. Lisa Joe's here. Hi, Lisa Joe. Hi, Women Doing Chaos. I saw you. Hey, Risk 6303. Good to see you. Woman Doing Chaos is in here. Mino Dino's in here. Good to see everybody. Miranda Lee's in here. Heather Brown's in here, of course. Heather Brown's amazing. Paula Fitzhenry's in here. Paula's great. Mino Dino's in here. I know that, like I said, JCN's having her own live right now, too. Hopefully, I'm not bumping into that one. She's having a good conversation about the whole Sebastian Rogers case. It's very windy here tonight, so I don't know how well my internet's going to be, but we'll give it a shot. But I should be doing more on the Sebastian Rogers case. I know I've done a couple of lives on the Sebastian Rogers case. I should try to do an update. It's just another one of those chaotic cases where, I also wanted to do an update on the Evansdale case this week here, but There's just so much shit that goes on every week. There's so many cases out there, and I try to do some of the stuff that isn't talked about too much. But anyways, so let's get going. I'm gonna do this first here. I just ran into this tonight. This is kind of crazy. This is a crazy case. This might be a little bit how do I say this? A little bit disturbing here, but I'm gonna play this here. Do you have any audiobooks? Oh no. I don't think so. What is an audiobook? And I still mean to go over the case of Lisa Joe's relative there too. Still working on that. I'm working on the long haul trucker shit. All of that stuff I'm working on. But there's, like I said, there's just so many things going on. So let me hide my face. You missed the laugh. I saw you earlier on R&M's. I kind of follow all these people all around these other lives. Like a woman doing chaos. I was over there on R&M earlier. I see her all the time on Rick Snae's live. It's all good to see everybody. It was in the 40s earlier. Yeah, then it got really windy. It's about, if I had to guess, it's probably about 5 degrees below zero right now. It's just really fucking cold. It's awful. It's just terrible. Welcome to March. Check out Larkin Rose, the most dangerous superstition. I will do that. Is that for me? All right, so let's go to this here. This is a strange case. So let's play this here. This is a case that you just don't ever want to be involved in. But this is real. It's not fake. This is going on down in Florida. If you ever want to find some content, go to Florida. Florida is loaded with content. So this woman shares the dangers of spousal voyeurism after husband arrested again. So apparently this guy here is apparently a real piece of shit. Aaron Burton was arrested in Manatee County on more than 24 charges related to video voyeurism, stalking, and cyber harassment after allegedly trying to entice a child into essays through a PlayStation. But he's also been using his wife as bait without her knowledge. So let's play this here. I just kind of skimmed through this earlier. So this is coming out of Manatee County, and here we go.
13, and the 10 o'clock news starts now.
For generations.
And I'm Allie Corey. Thanks for being with us. First tonight at 10. It was a blatant.
Remember that one coach? I forget what game it was. I think it was a college game. And the reporter asked him about, players executing on the field. The coach said, I think all the players should be executed. It's so good to see you guys, though. All right, so let's go back to this here.
Blatant breach of trust between a husband and a wife. One woman's husband.
You just can't make this stuff up. This is the stuff that you see on the news feeds, and you watch it, and you just you can't. How can anybody be this horrible? Oh.
Husband was convicted of secretly recording his wife, posing as her, and then sending the pictures and videos to other men on the internet. And tonight we're learning that he is accused of doing it again. Fox 13's Genevieve Curtis is in the newsroom tonight. And Genevieve,
Dick.
There's actually a new case out of Manatee County.
Yeah, Allie, detectives with the Manatee County Sheriff's Office arrested the estranged husband on Valentine's Day. He faces more than 24 charges related to video voyeurism. It's a case that combines catfishing and revenge.
I mean, I don't know, the Sebastian Rogers case is another one of those cases that takes on a whole new genre when it gets into the superstition thing, conspiracy thing. I don't think anybody knows what's going on over there.
Porn, and his estranged wife is speaking out tonight. She tells me that she is sharing her painful story in the hopes that it can.
And it's sad because the poor kid, it's just a horribly sad situation that needs to be resolved. But I don't think that's going to be resolved anytime soon, unfortunately.
Can help someone else trust their intuition and advocate for themselves. Aaron Burton is in the Manatee County Jail facing more than 24 charges related to video voyeurism, stalking, and sexual cyber harassment. Court records show the case started with the Manatee County Sheriff's Office first receiving a tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children regarding an adult
You think you know somebody and then this happens, right? Like,
trying to entice a child for sexual acts online. Detectives determined that Burton was using photos of his estranged wife to communicate with a 15-year-old child through a PlayStation.
I cannot stress enough that you have to advocate for yourself.
This is his estranged wife, Autumn Burton, and when investigators called her, she was unfortunately not surprised. That's because Burton had already been released from prison after serving time for secretly recording Autumn when they lived in Lake County. He had hidden cameras in their bedroom and their bathroom. Autumn discovered he had created a web of dozens of fake profiles using her intimate.
has anybody heard of this before? This is just really weird. This is, I watched this whole thing and it keeps getting worse. So the best is yet to come here.
Images and posting photos of her on dozens of different sites.
At one point, I know one website alone had 1.1 million views. You don't anticipate the person you're married to, the person you have a child with, to install a camera in a bathroom and make profiles and talk to men as
This guy had cameras all over the house.
if they were you to solicit them.
There's no telling how many people have seen these images of Autumn, all of it so violating. But it didn't just stay online. Strange men showed up at her home and got her real phone number.
And at one point, he offered me up as payment to someone.
In 2023, Aaron Burton was charged with 21.
The thing is, he was arrested before for this and then got like a slap on the wrist and then let back out. He did it again. It's this stuff here.
Counts of video voyeurism and 16 counts of sexual cyber harassment in Lake County. But he was only sentenced to a year in prison. According to court records,
It's Southern Gal. Hey, Southern Gal, how are you? Good to see you. You're never late. Don't worry about being late. That's fine. I'm just glad you're here. This guy's a real piece of dog shit. It's good to see Southern Gal in here. Southern Gal is amazing. I think she's on vacation, right? Are you on vacation now? Because I didn't see her live Friday night, but I saw you live Monday night. I think it was Monday night. Hey, Jocelyn, how are you? Good to see Jocelyn here. But Southern Gal's amazing. Paula Fitzhenry's awesome. I know, like I said, that JC Ann's having a live too at the same time, so I didn't want to bump her. She's doing great stuff on the Sebastian Rogers stuff over there. You'll be starting Monday. I didn't do a live last night. Okay, good. I didn't want to miss it. What was I just saying? Going over this case of this horrible hubby here.
soon after his release, he started right back at it, leading to these new charges he now faces in Manatee County. Autumn says she is advocating for stricter sentences in these cases the first time around.
Just because I'm not black and blue from him carrying out a plan doesn't stop it from being domestic abuse.
I mean, what would you do? Like, what would you do if, you know, like you had no idea, and then all of a sudden you're just being voyeured for money? It's just awful. That's just absolutely terrible. Yes, Southern Gal is amazing. Absolutely amazing.
And I feel that if we were harsher on first-time offenders for certain offenses like these, maybe we wouldn't have repeat offenders.
Tells me there were credible threats against her life. She believes that the Manatee County investigation has saved her life now that Burton is behind bars again. He faces charges of violating probation as well in Lake County. He is due back in court in April. Allie.
This guy should have to wear a sign on himself at all times. That way women who, you know, like get involved in this guy are pretty much aware that this guy is not good at all. That's what they should do. Put a like huge sign. Stay away from this guy at all costs. What did he do to? When did he do it first? Hold on a second. I think that was in that memo. I'll try to figure that. I'll try to find that out for you. I think it was like a year before because he went to prison for a year. I know where you're getting at because they probably should have. She probably should have stayed away from him, but I don't know if it was her. But anyways, all right. So I think that's
What a
over there.
story. All right, Genevieve.
And we'll go on to something else. But I just wanted to play that just in case. Yeah. All right. So I do want to do this one here. This one's going to be really disturbing. This one here is coming out of Tamarack, Florida. Hold on a second. I'm sorry, my internet's being terrible again tonight. Hold on a second. If it was her, why did she go back? Yeah, that's what but I don't think it was her. I think it was somebody else. Oh, you're going to Mardi Gras? Awesome. That's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so let's go and do this one here. Okay, so this is coming out Florida again. This is more down towards Miami. Surveillance video obtained exclusively by Local 10 News Tuesday captures the terrifying moments a woman was on the run before deputies said she and two others were unalive by her estranged husband in Tamarack. This is going to be really disturbing because I watched this. This happened actually a couple of weeks ago, but this is the video that they came out with. They caught this guy actually chasing her with the GUN. So this is going to be disturbing. Two reasons. One, hold on a second. Why is this still playing? All right, so let me back up here. So this is the video of him actually chasing her, and you're going to see. Hold on a second. Let me share this. I think you're going to see the 4-year-old daughter following him. Also, hold on. All right. So, video shows woman running for help before 30 say two others were unalived in Tamarack. And this is the video of this whole kind of thing going down here.
From the morning, a young mother, her father, and tonight, chilling new video that you'll only see on local.
So that's her right there running. Hold on a second. That's her running. And this is really sad because she had done everything that she was supposed to do. She filled out all of the right stuff, and it still didn't help her. So,
That you'll only see on Local 10 News.
So here he comes. That's him there. There's the GUN.
From the morning, a young mother, her father, and a neighbor were gunned
Now watch
down.
it. This is the daughter here. This is the daughter chasing after him, and he's chasing after the wife.
By the woman's estranged husband in Tamarack.
This stuff here is just insane. We usually go to Shreveport, but the group we go with is going to Lafayette this year. That's awesome. That's definitely on a bucket list to go to Louisiana, just for the food. This is about our 9th year to go. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome when you can do that. It's awesome when you can have like some sort of a annual thing. That's sweet.
3 murders taking place in front of the couple's 4-year-old daughter, who was caught in the middle of all of that chaos.
And we must warn you, this new video could be hard to watch for some. We begin with Local 10's Andrew Perez live in Tamarack with the exclusive. Andrew.
You know, the video you're about to see, it is disturbing. It's horrific, but it's also the sad reality of domestic violence that happens every single day all across this country. And the family wanted to speak out because they feel too many people have become numb to it.
I just woke up out of the sleep and there's gunshots.
So there's her running. This must be the house here. So she's running out of the house, and he starts to chase her. And then you see the 4-year-old daughter behind him, running for some reason after him.
And scream.
It's hard to watch. It's hard to hear as neighbors dial 911.
And lady was
There she is. This is the daughter. He doesn't even give a shit about her. She's just running across the street. This is just so awful.
knocking really hard on my door, running in the street with a little girl.
Mary Gingles runs for help to get away from her ex-husband. Nathan Gingles just shot and killed her father, say deputies. He chases her now, taking aim at one point. Their 4-year-old daughter running behind them, house to house, until they find a neighbor who helps.
I didn't know why that poor woman had to endure what she had to endure. And I didn't know why that terrible travesty, that nightmare that she must have been living, landed on our doorstep.
That neighbor was George David's nephew, Andrew Farron, 36 years old, a big part of a close family.
I honestly believe that Andrew was the best part of all of us. He didn't come from a
Isn't this screwed up? This is so weird. Yeah, it's so awful. I mean, this is just an amazing story of just how this whole thing needs to be. This whole issue of domestic violence needs to be changed. The laws just don't protect anybody at all.
traditional marriage. We all raised him. I can't have my nephew become a footnote in a tragic scenario, and it is a tragic scenario.
Nathan allegedly shooting.
So there he is there. So he apparently, before he starts chasing her, he had already unalived somebody, and that's what probably caused the daughter to, I don't know, want to be with him because she was probably fearing for her life. Maybe, I don't know.
Killing Farron at his home
There she is again,
alongside
right
his
there.
ex-wife.
She's running, just running right across the street here. There's her right there.
At his home alongside
This is so awful. He doesn't even give a shit.
his ex-wife Mary. Nathan's daughter Serafina was found physically unharmed. We've learned, though, since Nathan's arrest, about the dozens of domestic violence calls against him, about the restraining order, the divorce, horrific allegations of domestic abuse, how the system failed Mary, one that prompted.
All right, so I can't recall who I've told, but I had my surgery. Okay, this is what I wanted to know. Hold on a second. So I can't recall. Okay, so I can't recall who I've told, but I had my surgery. Well, now just waiting for the results. Well, that's good news. Well, I'm glad you're good. I'm glad the surgery went well. That's awesome. Hope you're not sore from that. It is. There's a local tour company who takes a bus down there every year. All inclusive price. That's awesome. That's got to be far for you. Is that far? I know it'd be wicked far for me. Pain's mostly gone now. That's good. Pain is good. Having no pain is good. Yeah, we're very glad it went well. I hope everybody's doing well. 6 hours? That's not bad. Who have a big head? Very big head. Massive head.
Did the suspension of 7 BSO deputies. David saying domestic violence is an epidemic that he feels people are numb to.
Hold on. I'll play that again.
Domestic abuse.
So these are all the motions filed before all of the petitions signed. I mean, she did everything she was supposed to do, and that did nothing to save her. Absolutely nothing to save her. It sucks.
How the system failed Mary, one that prompted the suspension of 7 BSO deputies. David saying domestic violence is an epidemic that he feels people are numb to.
I need there to be changes in the law. I need to know that if he
I knew you were going to surgery for this week. That's why I was trying to check in as many lives as I could to find out how things are going with you, Heather. But I'm glad you're okay, for sure.
had to be killed unnecessarily in some kind of tragic, weird event. And he's an individual that was just known for helping people. And this law can help someone. I would like to honor him with that.
And the first thing that has to happen is identifying all the things that went wrong here. By all accounts, experts say that Mary Gingles did everything right. Meanwhile, little Serafina, we know that she is with the state, but family is.
But here's the thing: she's the one that's going to do everything when he's the one that's the problem. We love you too, Heather. This whole chat would not be the same without you here. So we're glad you're doing well. Adore you to the moon too. Awesome people.
Is involved working to get custody. That's the latest here in Tamarack. I'm Andrew Perez, Local 10 News.
All right, so I just wanted to play that. That's just crazy. Just all of these people that are gone that don't need to be gone, that shouldn't be gone. Absolutely horrible. All right, I do want to play this loser Chew here because this came out. This was a few days ago. This guy just keeps on getting himself into trouble. I'm hoping they put this guy behind bars for the rest of his life. That's just me. He's no good for society. This guy here, this is the pastor who was married to Micah Miller here. And he's in trouble again here. Myrtle Beach pastor John Paul Miller accused of sexually assaulting a 15-year-old girl. Myrtle Beach pastor John Paul Miller accused of whatever you call this here on YouTube, 15-year-old girl. Myrtle Beach, Florence, South Carolina area. And this case. Hopefully he gets put in jail for the rest of his life. That's all I can say. This guy here is nothing but bad news.
Lawsuit filed today in Horry County claims Myrtle Beach pastor John Paul Miller sexually assaulted a 15-year-old girl in 1998. Thank you for joining us at 11. I'm Edward Moody.
And it's just not fair. These women go through a lot of shit they don't ask for, and it happens. Reverse too. But I think for the most part, it's a one-sided thing most of the time, and they just need this whole system of the whole system of domestic abuse needs to be changed. It just doesn't work. None of these things work. It's obvious. Restraining orders, violations, they don't work. It doesn't work ever.
Demonstration will over the filing states they had.
It's almost like they make things worse.
Another run-in more than 2 decades later.
New at 11, News 13's Adriana Lawrence breaks down what's in the lawsuit. But first, a warning. Some details may be disturbing.
The 43-page lawsuit filed by a Jane Doe claims John Paul Miller and his father, Reginald Wayne Miller, fostered sexual abuse and predatory conduct in their former church. She claims not only was she harmed, but so were numerous minors.
Since Micah's death, it doesn't surprise me because of what I've heard since then.
The controversy around John Paul Miller and Salt Rock Church began in late April of last year after his wife Mike.
Hey, JCN, good to see you. He's such a creep, and I agree. He needs to be. Yeah, this guy here. I have no respect for this guy whatsoever at all. It's good to see you, JCN. Sorry, I went live. I didn't want to take anything away from you. You were doing a great job over there with the Sebastian Rogers case with Arctic True Fox. Arctic True Fox is amazing. Wasn't Micah really young? Yeah, she was groomed for sure. Yes, John Paul Miller. He's a real piece of dog shit. He's just the guy. The guy is a horrible human being. That's just my opinion. He hasn't really been charged with anything yet, but it's always good to see JCN in the channel. Feel free to throw all your channels in the chat. Southern Gal's in here. She has an amazing channel. JCN's great. I was just over there. Southern Gal's great. Jocelyn's amazing. Paula Fitzhenry's amazing. We're still waiting for Heather Brown to get her own channel here. I know Miranda Lee's in here somewhere. All of these channels do such great work. They, put so much great content out there. Thank you, Southern Gal. There's JCN's link there. Anyway, we can keep putting the word out for some of these missing persons cases. Yeah, I know you're busy. You've been busy. You've been busy doing other stuff. I get it. But we're eagerly awaiting the Heather Brown channel. That's for sure. All right, let's go back to this.
Micah died by suicide. Allegations of abuse followed, but one woman who wants to remain anonymous claims Miller's abuse allegations date back to 1998. In the lawsuit,
This guy is just nothing more than a predator. He's a predator, and he's gonna do this again. He's going to manipulate somebody to get brainwashed into thinking that he's their savior and groom these people. He's just gonna do it again.
She claims she was attending Sunday school at Miller's father's church when Miller forced her outside, brought her into his truck, and raped her. It states Miller was 19 and she was just 15 years old. Then in 2023, she claims she ran into Miller again, and when he leaned in to hug her, he touched.
It's always good to see Jocelyn in here too. Jocelyn, I'm pretty sure she's busy. I know she's probably working. FarQ is here. Where's FarQ? Oh, hi FarQ. How are you? Good to see you. I saw FarQ tonight too. FarQ was in. Were you in with Cryptex? I saw you somewhere. Cryptex is amazing. He's going through his own shit right now. Just try to help out as much as I can with some of these things. But Cryptex is a great guy. He doesn't deserve it at all. But I'm not going to get involved in that because I don't know. There's just so many people that just don't care about opinions. I have no problem with opinions as long as opinions are not attacking other people. I don't have a problem with that, but I just don't have problems with opinions. I mean, if I don't like an opinion as much as somebody, I just don't watch the channel. I mean, it's all. I mean, why attack people for their opinions? It's just crazy.
Touched her inappropriately. Her attorney, Randall Hood, says she repressed memories of the first incident, but it came flooding back after the latest one.
She had heard that there were multiple other victims over the years, and it is her hope that in bringing light to the situation.
This is the thing here. I'm pretty sure that it's going to be a lot of people that are coming forward. And this, yeah, Cryptex is awesome. For sure. Thank you, Southern Gal.
That it will keep it from ever happening again.
It states Miller was employed by his father as a youth leader, and his father allowed him to prey on young teens while in a leadership position. She claims the church was his, quote, sexual playground.
This guy's just a horrible human being. He just is.
Hood says she never reported either incident to police.
At the end of the day, whether it's this church or any other church, pastors and leaders of churches need to be held accountable when things happen to children.
Miller is also being investigated by the FBI. Hood says the agency has been in contact with her.
Thanks, brother. Always good to see everybody here in the chat. Dino, thank you, Southern Gal. But you know, here's one thing about you know, that whole jogging out of a case is you're going to get attacked by somebody. There's just nothing you can do about it. Southern Gal is awesome. Yeah, Southern Gal is. She does such great work on the missing. Just keep it up. I mean, everybody that does this stuff is making a difference. Because if you leave it up to the mainstream media, it's just not going to be covered. I mean, there's so many missing people, especially children and indigenous people, people of color. I mean, there's just so many missing people that don't get covered. It's like this non-existent. So, and Timmy's legacy too. Timmy legacy. Hey, Arctic True Fox, good to see you. How come Arctic Fox doesn't have a wrench? For God's sakes. Let me know if you want a wrench, buddy. Okay, so let's get back to this clown here.
But he's unsure if she shared anything. Former Solid Rock Church member Bernie Kennerson left the church.
There's no doubt in my mind that I hate this guy. I just can't stand him. I think he's he's just not a good person. He's not a good human being, and he deserves to be off the street because, like I said, even though he hasn't formally been charged with anything, and I should say that everybody's innocent until proven guilty, but this guy's guilty, period, and he deserves to be not amongst people, especially young women.
Shortly after Micah's death, and says he's glad he left when he did.
My hope and prayer is that he would repent and take accountability for any and all of things.
You did. Thank you. I appreciate that. Why not? I'll add it to my collection. It's too funny. I saw you over there on JCN's live. JCN does great work too. She's an amazing person. Just all these people that are doing such great work with the missing. I mean, Arctic Fox is numerous cases a week. He has great live channels, great lives. The more we can get the word out, the more we can spread stuff. I'm all for that. So, absolutely.
Now we've reached out to both Miller and his attorney, Russell Long, who said no comment, but that he only represents Miller and Solid Rock. But Reginald Miller told us to refer to Long for comment. Hood says both Millers have 30 days to answer. In the newsroom, Adriana Lawrence, News 13.
All right. So,
and the lawsuit filed today also claims Miller, his father, and their group of ministries ran the churches, quote, for their own personal financial gain. The complaint also pulls apart the church's financial standing in a bid to prevent a cap on damages due to religious and nonprofit protections. Now, you can read the full lawsuit and find a timeline of our coverage of John Paul Miller at WBTW.com.
All right, so that should have worked. Let me know if that didn't work. I think I just gave Arctic Fox a wrench. So let me know. Renegade 12 is here. Good to see Renegade 12. It's always good to see new people in here. So it worked because I see a wrench. Awesome. I don't know how you didn't have a wrench. I thought I gave you one before. Might be my old age. Okay, so let's go. Let's do. You want to do the missing next? Hold on a second. I'm going to try to go on the road again next week. I want to go visit a couple more spots. I know what I wanted to do. All right, hold on a second. I wanted to go back to this right here. Okay, so this is, I think this is going back to the Tamarack area. I think this is where the suspensions for these deputies were done. This is part of the triple homicide thing case here that we were just going over, but they actually they were placed on leave, so they're just suspended. All right, hold on a second. So this is going back to the hold on a second. The case down there in Florida where a guy was unaliving his wife. This is about the deputies that were being suspended for their non-handling of this case.
And it's a story you will only see right here on CBS News Miami. 2 Broward County Sheriff's deputies are off the job.
The move follows other BSO suspensions and a demotion in Tamarack.
So yeah, one of the reasons why I give people wrenches here is so that they can get their channels in here when they're on the lives, because it's like I said, there's so many people that do such great work. Jocelyn's got a great channel, Arctic Fox, Timmy's Legacy, Paula Fitzhenry, all these people that do such great work getting the word out for these missing people. All these different cases that don't get a lot of spotlight, even if they do get spotlight. I'm not partial to anything. But yeah, absolutely. So all these great channels get shared. That's what we want.
Good evening. I'm Lauren Pastrana.
I mean, as much coverage as possible, because these people are just not going to get the coverage if we don't do it. It's just not going to happen.
And I'm Elliot Rodriguez. Thank you so much for joining us. CBS News Miami's Joe Murray is following the story. She is in Oakland Park where all of this is unfolding. Joan?
Well, ever since that triple murder 11 days ago, the Broward Sheriff's Office has been hyper-focused on how operations are going countywide, and what is happening here is reflective of what is going on within the agency.
Thank you, Arctic True Fox. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, the more the more we get the word out, the better. I think people are making a difference. I really do.
Think back to 2019, one of the things I told this community was that when I know, they will know, and that this agency will remain a transparent and accountable organization, not just when we're doing things great, but when we come up short.
That was Broward Sheriff Gregory Toney a week ago when he suspended 7, later 8 deputies, including a lieutenant and 2 sergeants, for the handling of a triple murder in Tamarack and prior domestic violence calls leading up to the violence. And then he demoted Tamarack Captain Jeremiah Cooper to deputy.
911, what's the address of the emergency?
I just woke up out of the sleep and there's gunshots and screams.
These aren't shortcomings of policies, procedures, training, or equipment. From my assessment, this is really just a shortcoming of performance, whether it be complacency, not taking a greater interest, and not doing the due diligence to make sure that they're documenting everything in an accurate manner.
Now, in an unrelated case, sources tell CBS News Miami, 2 sergeants in the Oakland Park office, Sergeant Matt Patton and Sergeant Victor Carasquillo, are suspended for how they may have handled an investigation. Their union is not commenting, and there's more that could affect the entire Broward Sheriff's Office. We've learned over 6,000 BSO cases countywide, dating back some 7 or 8 years, are currently under review.
Thank you, Paula. I really appreciate that. Yeah, when I go to, first thing I do when I go, like say I go to Arctic True Fox or Southern Gals live, first thing I will do is like the video and then share it. It's important to do that because, the more people that know about it, the better, and that's the only way to do it. I don't expect people to do that here, but if you could, that'd be great. If you could just share it, that'd be awesome. Oh, it's too bad to hear. You were under the weather for a bit, then I got an abscess on your tooth. Oh, that's awful. That's got to be the worst pain in the world. Teeth pain is I don't know what's worse, teeth pain or back pain, but I mean, if I had to choose, I'd rather have back pain. Teeth pain is really difficult to deal with because, I mean, there's nothing you can take to fix teeth pain. And when you go to the dentist for like a bad tooth or something like that, you have to demand painkillers. If you don't demand painkillers, they won't give you any. I appreciate that, Arctic True Fox. Teeth pain is, I did that once. I went out and decided to go drinking. I had a tooth problem, and boy, did I pay for that the next morning. I just felt like driving myself off the road. That's how bad the pain was. You guys are all awesome. I appreciate everybody for coming in. I really do. You guys are why I do this. Okay, what's this? I can't read any of this stuff here. Criminal mischief. This is okay. So here.
For allegedly not being investigated or never closed. This document shows open cases from 2024 that include battery and theft.
Okay, so this is the whole, I can't read a lot of this here. I'll have to try to see if I can download this here.
Include battery and theft. The sheriff promised last week accountability.
Because I want to make sure this community continues to trust us and know that when we get this stuff wrong, people are going to be held accountable. And
they have a lot of problems in Florida, man.
I'm going to step up and own every bit of it.
And we did reach out to the Broward Sheriff's Office for comment. We have not heard back just yet, but I'm told that this is major.
It's Mustang 65. Good to see you. Mustang 65 is in here. You had this whole side of your face swollen. I was close. Oh my God, that's awful. Yeah, teeth pain is not good. Yeah, I mean, it's close. Back pain is close, especially if you got a slip disc or some sort of a degenerative disc issue going on here. But teeth pain, I don't think there's anything worse than that because there's nothing you could take. Like if you take Tylenol, it's not going to do anything. It's just not. It's just, the best thing you can do is like salt water rinses and stuff like that, but the pain doesn't go away.
Countywide, and everything is being looked at from the top down. And
I'm pretty sure giving birth is pretty painful too. So I don't know what I mean, but I mean, of all the pain I've dealt with in my life, teeth pain is definitely the worst.
I'm also being told that we can expect more activity in the coming days and weeks. Reporting in Oakland Park tonight, Joan Murray.
Okay, so that's that. I do want to go to this because this happened this week too. Gout is horrendous pain. Nothing helps. I've never had that. I've heard that shingles is bad. Oragel doesn't do anything yet. Oragel is just you take the tube of Oragel and you throw it out the window. It doesn't do anything. And alcohol is the worst because it feels good at the moment, but then when you wake up, oh my God, is that painful? So I wouldn't recommend that. Okay, so we're going to go down to Chicago now. Hold on a second here. I want to stop that. This guy was finally arrested here. Hold on a second. Okay, so this guy was finally charged in the this guy basically a serial unaliver here. And he was I think he was arrested a while ago. But he Antonio Reyes is charged with unaliving 6 people in separate Chicago unalivings in Gage Park, Brighton Park, and West Long in 2020, police said. And this is I'm going to do a few of these. This is I believe this is a teenager. So here we go.
This was a complicated investigation that all tied back to the evidence of the firearm that was used in these murders, as well as some social media posts made by the suspect. The 21-year-old man now facing several felony charges, and families of the victims are hoping justice will prevail. Antonio Reyes was just 17 years old when he allegedly killed 6 people in 2020. Today, Chicago police and the Cook County State's attorney announcing 5 more murder charges and 4 additional attempted murder charges against Reyes. He was already in jail awaiting trial for allegedly murdering a 26-year-old man in June of 2020.
This speaks to the level of disregard this offender had toward human life. It's difficult to comprehend how anyone could easily take someone's life, and especially so many in 1 year.
Chicago police say the murders happened in Gage Park, Brighton Park, and West Lawn. In one of the incidents on November 8th of 2020, Reyes allegedly shot and killed a 31-year-old man.
Yeah, what you got to do is you got to take, as much salt as you could possibly imagine, and then rinse your mouth out every 10 minutes or so. That's the only thing that works for an abscess. But you got to go get it. You got to go get it fixed because if not, we definitely want FARQ to feel better. I feel bad anytime people have teeth pain because I've been through it. It's awful. The only way I can describe it is like glass shards between your joint every moment is, I have psoriasis, so that kind of, but I've never had, I think I had we all had chicken pox, I think. Pretty sure we all had the mumps and measles and all of that stuff. But I heard my mother had shingles, so she said that was pretty bad. I don't want any of that shit. I don't need any of that stuff. Shingles, mumps, measles. I'm good. Well, with teeth pain, you would literally just punch yourself in the face just to get rid of the teeth pain. It's that difficult to deal with because there's nothing that you could do about it.
Near 54th and South Holman, while that man was taking his family to buy a new puppy.
He was shot and severely wounded in front of his 3 children, and he succumbed to his injuries months later.
Reyes now faces attempted murder charges for those children between 3.
Oh, he's being charged, I think, in all 6 of these. I'm pretty sure. But we'll go over a few of these here. But he was 17 years old, I think, when he started.
And 9 years old who were there when their father was shot. He also has additional charges pending for allegedly trying to kill his cellmate with a shank while in jail for his previous murder charge. Police believe Reyes acted alone in all 6 of the 2020 murders.
None of these people had ever met Antonio Reyes.
I'm surprised there hasn't been a name called to clap. That's fucking hilarious, though. The itch happened when the blisters were healing for a couple of days. The pain was the worst. Oh my God, yeah. Doesn't everybody have chicken pox when they're younger? They vaccinate for that now, right? I don't know. I'm pretty sure. I was always thought that we used to have to drink cod liver oil when we were young. Ugh. Then we got upgraded to prune juice.
Before, and there's no reason to suspect Antonio Reyes had any reason to target them.
A mother of one of the victims says today's news is bittersweet as she continues.
They thought that the cod liver oil would cure everything. You've had rheumatoid arthritis and fibro? Yeah, it's terrible. You've never had chicken pox? I've never had chickens. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they vaccinate for all of that shit now. But shingles, I think you get if you've had chicken pox, right? If you've had chicken pox, then you can get shingles later. But if you haven't had chicken pox, then you can't get it, or something like that. I don't know. I don't want it. That's all I know. All right. Yes. Yes meaning no.
To mourn the loss of her son, Claudio Casillo. He was killed when he was just 21 years old.
It's been a long time coming. I almost felt like we would never see this day. It's, part of the healing process. And my son will have justice along with all these other innocent victims.
So in total, Reyes now faces 10 felony charges. He just appeared in court yesterday, being arraigned on those new charges, which he pled not guilty to. He's due back in court on March 18th.
Watch breaking news on YouTube.
I'm going to keep following this because I've been following, this has been going back a while now. All of these cases here. I remember one time they didn't think all of these crimes were connected.
Tonight, Chicago police detailing how they connected a string of 6 murders in 2020 to an alleged teen serial killer.
It's difficult to comprehend how anyone could easily take.
Okay, so here's a nurse, right? People who have chicken pox can get shingles. Can get shingles when they are older, same virus strain. So if you've been vaccinated, you can't, correct? Yes, chicken pox has the virus of shingles. Calamine lotion when you had chicken pox? Long time no see, yeah. You guys had a great live. I was having a good time at the live. JCN always does a great job. Just like getting tonsils out as an adult, it's way worse, yeah. Never say never, right? But I thought that if you got the vaccination and you didn't have chicken pox, that you're kind of immune to the shingles strain. But I was just reading on online, the measles are back. So anything's possible, I guess. I don't know what to tell you.
Someone's life, and especially so many in 1 year.
Authorities say Antonio Reyes, who was just 17 at the time, was put behind bars in December 2020 for a shooting that took place in June of that year. Investigators recovered and processed the weapon, and they say found casings matching that weapon to other seemingly random shootings.
None of these people had ever met Antonio Reyes before, and there's no reason to suspect Antonio Reyes had any reason to target them.
Reyes allegedly targeting victims who prosecutors say were just going about their daily lives.
One victim was killed when he went to the gas station to buy a pop early one evening. Another victim was sitting in a parked car with a friend on Palm Sunday afternoon when he was shot and killed. Another victim's only crime was taking his family to buy a new puppy one afternoon.
Police say Reyes had a fairly significant social media footprint that they used to connect him with the shooting of 26-year-old Luis Davalos Garcia that led to his initial arrest. Garcia's father, also named Luis, said his son was working
and hustle for what he wanted. He had this gift was able to talk to people and become friends instantly.
His family still reeling.
Heartbroken. That hasn't changed at all. Me and my wife are devastated, and there's not a day that passes that we don't remember our son.
Many of Reyes' other alleged victims, young men ranging from 16 to 30.
Yeah, adults get everything. You could die pretty much from anything when you're an adult. Chickenpox is serious. Chickenpox and mumps. I remember mumps was a big thing too. That's what I thought. I thought anybody can get shingles. But I know my mother had shingles and she said it was really terrible. But back in her day, hey, Lady Monet, good to see you. Lady Monet's here. Good to see you, Lady Monet. Hope you're well. The varicella virus lays dormant and can rear its ugly head as an adult. So that's the shingles virus. Yes, gives me something else to worry about. Absolutely. But I think as long as you follow pretty much stuff like washing your hands and stuff and trying to be as clean as possible, I think it should be good. It's good to see Lady Monet here. I haven't seen you in a while. Shingles is an adult activation of the chickenpox virus. Yes, it's really good to get the vaccine. I'm pretty sure we were all vaccinated, but I don't know if we were vaccinated after we got chickenpox. I thought we had. My mother doesn't know it all, so I don't know what to tell you. My mom sent me to a pox parties. I never got it. It's awesome that you're here. Awesome. It's always good to see everybody here.
Years old. Reyes facing attempted murder charges for some even younger.
3 attempted murder charges are for children between the ages of 3 and 9.
And while behind bars, prosecutors say the violence has continued.
He allegedly tried to kill
Is there a death penalty in Illinois? Probably not.
his cellmate with a shank and has charges pending there as well.
After Reyes' initial 2020 arrest, the Chicago Tribune reported his attorney argued there was no video of the shooter's face and dismissed a social media video of him with the gun, saying there was no way to know if it was the murder weapon. He's pleaded not guilty in that case. Court records for that case were not immediately available, but it appears the case remains open. Reyes has pled not guilty to all charges. And
yeah, you guys are funny. Where did that go? I asked my dog for the shingles vaccine and refused to give it to me until I turned 50. So you turn 49 tomorrow, so you got one more year to panic. Absolutely. Happy birthday, buddy. You had chickenpox bad as a kid. You're in Australia, right? Do they vaccinate for that in Australia? DP abolished, and Lady Monet is so awesome. She gets this stuff like right away. 2011. So yes, happy birthday, Arctic Fox. I wish I had a song for you like Gray Hughes has, but I don't. Happy birthday to you. I guess I don't know what to tell you.
attorney for him could not immediately be reached for comment.
It's a good
We should at least have a cake.
day, but it's a bittersweet situation.
Justice will be served, and that is a good thing. But we have a lot more work to do.
Those poor family members. Shaq Brewster joins us now from Chicago. Shaq, at the top of your story there, you said these murders happened in 2020. Do we know why it took 5 years to sort of link all these murders to one man?
See, I don't know if we got. I'm pretty sure we got one of them. Pretty sure we got either mumps or chickenpox or something like that. but I don't think they started to vaccinate for that stuff till like the 80s. I don't think because I know my kids got every shot imaginable at 6. I think it was 6 months. I think they get, and they get a lot of shots at a lot of times, right? They get I think they get like the 6-month shots, and then they get shots again at and you basically have to do it. I don't think there's anything you can do about it. But they get a lot of shots at a lot of times. But nowadays, I think they get all of those shots pretty much automatically.
Tom, investigators
back then they didn't care whether you lived or died. They just didn't do it.
Didn't explain the time that it took, but they did say that detectives worked, quote, tirelessly to come to answers to this case. It was clear that they were clearly trying to build this case together. They not only had video evidence, they had that weapon that was recovered in 2020. They had witnesses and tips that they say they got from members of the community. And they also said that social media was a key part to this case. When you look back at the initial shooting that took place in 2020,
this whole case was followed pretty religiously by some true crimers back a few years ago, and then everybody just forgot about it. But they just, I'm pretty sure they got this guy by ballistics here.
The reason why the suspect was behind bars in the first place. In some court hearings, you heard prosecutors mention that there was a video that showed the suspect with a gun. His attorneys say that there was no way to link that gun to the actual murder that took place, but that was a crucial part of linking the suspect to the timing of at least one of the shootings, investigators say. But many of these families saying that they've been waiting for updates, waiting for answers on the shootings, on the murders of their loved ones for many years now, and they're at least relieved to get some answers and some clarity on what happened. Tom?
I'm telling you, at my age, I sit there in bed and wonder, first of all, I got to figure out if I'm alive. And then 2, do I actually really want to get up? I mean, is it really worth it? What lies ahead downstairs? Is it even worth, let's just lie here and die? That's basically what I go through. Oh my God. Oh, I seem to age in dog years. Yeah. Yeah. Birthdays these days are just another, yeah. Just each their own. You never had chicken pox? I don't know if I had it or not. I'm pretty sure we did. I'm pretty sure we had one of them. Yes, there's a reason for all those shots. I get that, but when you see like I couldn't even go in the room when they were giving the shots. I would have killed somebody because they give. I mean, it's pretty painful. They give them a lot at one time, and usually the kids get sick right after that. I look people up all the time. In Oz, all of our medical records and vaccinations are. Oh, that's cool. So you guys have a database over there.
Shaq Brewster for us from Chicago. Shaq, we thank you.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on.
One a second. I do want to do this here because I wanted to do this first, but I completely forgot about it. So we were covering this case last year. Remember? Oops. This is the case of Jocelyn Nungari. Remember we did this? She was unalived. They haven't found her yet, and she was unalived by 2 illegal immigrants. Remember, this is the case. I can't pronounce her last name now again. It's hold on. It's Jocelyn Nungari. But we covered this case. Hold on a second. So let me just read this. Hold on. 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungari was unalived, SA'd, and then unalived in Houston after she snuck out of her home. 2 men followed her after bumping into her at a 7-Eleven gas station, unalived her and dumped her body. Suspects Joanne Jose Martinez Rangel and Franklin Jose Pena Ramos were living in the country illegally. And these are the updates in this case. But this is, I wanted to cover this because we covered this last year. Oops, hold on. Let me share this. Stop that. Yeah, remember this one here? I still don't think they found her.
Illegal immigrants, and now they both face the death penalty. At the same time, Jocelyn's case has become politically charged. Her own mother testifying at a Senate hearing just this month in support.
I can't get the tetanus shot. I got deathly ill from the tetanus shot. I was sick for like a week and a half. I don't think, do they give tetanus shots anymore? Stops the doctor shopping. It's all right.
Of bail reform for immigrants charged.
All I know is we had all of it. We had all of those things because we were always in schools and hanging out with friends. We were always over friends. We got all of it. We got all of those things.
With a crime. But the bottom line is Jocelyn's case is heartbreaking, no matter what side of the aisle you're
I'm just not a big fan of public schools for that reason. The kids get everything. I mean, they go to school, they get everything.
on. We're taking a closer look at it now and all the latest updates, plus what's ahead for her case. First, let's start with Jocelyn. She was 12 years old, living in Houston with her mother, Alexis Nungare, and her brother.
Remember this case here? I think we covered tetanus shot is every 10 years. Yes, whooping cough is bad. Whooping cough is terrible. That reminds me. Thank you for that, Lady Money.
On June 16th of last year, Jocelyn went into her bedroom, but instead of going to sleep, she snuck outside. Now, something I have to add here. Commenters on some of our past videos about Jocelyn's case have accused us of victim shaming Jocelyn by reporting on this. Let's be very clear here. This 12-year-old girl did not deserve what happened to her. It's absolutely inexcusable and deplorable, but it is part of the story that Jocelyn snuck out. That's just what happened. So around midnight on June 17th, Jocelyn made her way to a nearby 7-Eleven. She's caught on security camera video here too, both alone and with two other male suspects. Prosecutors now say those men are 21-year-old Johan Jose Martinez Rangel and 26-year-old Franklin Pena. And it's that security camera video that led to their arrest.
We were able to find video and trace the movements of our suspects and of Jocelyn, and all the way to the point of where she was murdered and left in a bayou in the water.
According to the video, the suspects first met up with Jocelyn near the 7-Eleven, and it's caught on camera. Jocelyn was on the phone with her boyfriend during all of this, and he later told investigators that he overheard her speaking with some men.
Suspects seen meeting the victim and talking for a few minutes while they were on Kirkendall. Later, the suspects and the victim walked together to a convenience store.
Shortly after the trio is seen on camera at 7-Eleven, they're then seen leaving, heading toward a nearby bridge.
After a few minutes, all three together walked to a bridge where ultimately Jocelyn was murdered.
According to prosecutors, both suspects spent hours under the bridge. They allegedly tied up Jocelyn and sexually assaulted her before she was strangled to death. A woman taking her husband to work first noticed Jocelyn later that morning and reported it to police. When investigators
no doubt
found Jocelyn's body, she wasn't wearing any pants. Officials say after sexually assaulting Jocelyn and murdering her, both men left her behind and walked away from the scene.
Suspects continue south towards their residence after leaving Jocelyn there.
After Jocelyn's death, these security camera images were posted on social media and they aired on local TV stations, asking that anyone with more information or anyone who recognized these people come forward. And that's just what happened. The roommate of Rangel Martinez and Pena said he was watching TV with them both when a news report about Jocelyn's murder came on. The report showed these surveillance video screenshots of both suspects, and the roommate recognized them immediately. He told investigators he tried not to react and made an excuse to leave, and that's when he called police. This roommate told investigators he was with both of the suspects before Jocelyn's murder. They were out grabbing some drinks. But the roommate says he left before these two suspects went to 7-Eleven and first met up with.
They really wanted to blame this person here for not doing what she was supposed to do and staying home And that's victim blaming right there. That's what they call that.
Jocelyn. Around the same time as this info came in from the roommate, Pena's boss went to the Houston Police Department headquarters to report Pena had confessed the crime to him. The boss says he was giving Pena a ride home when Pena said he made a mistake after partying and that he hurt someone. The boss says he connected the dots when he saw the security camera screenshots and recognized Pena. On June 20th, both men were arrested at their apartment building. Investigators noted Martinez Rangel had bite marks and scratches up and down his arms when he was taken into custody. After that, both men started talking.
Yeah, this winter has been a bad winter here for a lot of different things. The ice this year has just been ginormous. I mean, we have on the deck here, we have a good 6 inches of ice out there. I mean, if you walked out on the deck right now, you'd have to step up to get out there. And it looks like snow, but it's not. Underneath it is a good 4 or 5 inches of ice. So the ice has been terrible. And what happens now, I mean, you're getting into March now, so the sun is at a different angle and it starts to melt shit during the day. But at night it refreezes. So it's been it's been pretty awful at night. A lot of Kimber's here. Hi, Kimber. Good to see you. I just noticed that you had a channel, so I'm going to try to subscribe to you as quickly as possible. But I saw you. I'm in New Hampshire, up here, way up in the Great White North. But let me know if you want a wrench. That way you can put your channel in the chat. But let me know. Southern Gal will say I'm throwing wrenches at people again. You're in Indiana. I knew that. I think I knew that. Just like, all right, so let's go here, back to this here.
And they both had different stories. According to Pena's
I don't think they found her body. I don't think they found her yet. I know that they know that she's unalive, but I don't think they've actually found her.
Story. He's saying he was an accomplice and Martinez Rangel was the principal. Pena says after leaving the restaurant and bar, he and Martinez Rangel ran into Jocelyn. Court doc.
Thank you, Arctic True Fox. I appreciate that. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, freezing rain is when it rains here. If it rains here in January, February, or March, it's probably not a good thing. Southern Gal got it. Thank you guys very much for that. Is that your sister?
State, quote, Johan asked JN for directions to get back to their apartment. In the legal documents, Jocelyn is only identified as her initials JN. Now, Pena told investigators that as they were walking westbound on Rankin Road, he kissed JN on the lips. But things only got worse. Pena says he saw Johan, who was behind JN, wrap his forearm around her neck. Johan kept his forearm around the complainant's neck and walked her to the area under the bridge. Franklin stated that he saw Johan put JN onto her.
This is going to be a little troubling here. Around the complainant, he walked her. Told Johan to stop. They should leave. However, Johan told him, unbelievable.
Back. While she was on the ground, Johan took off JN's pants and then climbed on top of her while holding her arms down over her head. Pena says he told Johan to stop and that they should leave. However, Johan told him, I have to finish what I started. That's when Pena observed Johan wrap his forearm around JN's neck again and cover her mouth with his hand. Franklin stated that he observed that JN was deceased and that Johan tied her hands
What a piece of shit.
and feet together. Hey, by the way, I know we have a lot of sponsors on Law and Crime, and we appreciate you supporting them and supporting us. But we'd really like to know from all of you, what do you like? We created a 5 DNA. But this part echoes what Pena told investigators, saying Johan then moved JN into the water and said that no DNA would be found on the body due to the water. He also told investigators Martinez Rangel shaved his beard in an effort not to be recognized when news of Jocelyn's murder broke. Both men were ultimately charged with capital murder. Bond has been set at $10 million each, plus an immigration hold. That's because both men are undocumented migrants from Venezuela, and they had both been arrested even prior to Jocelyn's murder. That's another reason why they
I think I'm still the only person that only uses one thumb when I'm on my phone. Everybody else uses two, and I hate landscape view. I can't stand landscape. Has to be in the upright thing to type.
the case has been so divisive. Jocelyn's mother, Alexis Nungaray, even followed now President Donald Trump on his campaign trail this fall to speak about illegal immigration. Just this month, she spoke about it at a Senate hearing too in Texas's state capital of Austin. She testified in support of Senate Joint Resolution 1 that was authored by Houston Republican Senator Joan Huffman. Now, the bill would amend the Texas Constitution and allow the state to deny bail to any person charged with a felony who entered the country illegally. That would even include people who moved here for work, school, or even just were traveling.
Are you guys really brother and sister? What did I just do? All right, hold on a second here.
According to HoustonLanding.org, Jocelyn's mother, Alexis, testified that it was inhumane going to a bail hearing for her daughter's alleged killers. She said, quote, "It's just not right. They already committed a crime being here illegally. And the fact that they can be part of a more heinous crime on American soil, they shouldn't be provided the opportunity to make bail." Jocelyn's mother has also been outspoken about the district attorney's decision to pursue the death penalty in this case. Back in December, former Harris County District Attorney Kim Ogg announced death penalty was officially on the table for both defendants. According to Fox 26 Houston, Alexis said, quote, "If I'm being completely honest, it's a mixture of both. I want them to forever live in prison miserably, tormentedly, but I also do want death for them because they took the life of my child and she's no longer here anymore. After doing some thinking on it, I do think it fits the crime. It's an eye for an eye. And if they did not want to be eligible for the death penalty, they should have never done what they did and to who they did it to." Those are some pretty strong words there from Jocelyn's mom. And I want to talk about that, the case so far, what's next, everything involving all of it.
Oh, okay, good. I didn't know. I ask too many questions sometimes. You just claim each other. Okay, cool. Miranda's still here. Good. Just trying to keep up with the chat. Yeah, I hate landscape. I just it just bothers me a lot. I don't know why. Everybody is so good at typing that way. I just can't do it.
So we've got to bring on our expert guest. That's criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Anthony Osso. And Anthony, the reason I want to talk to you today is you're right down there in Houston, probably pretty familiar with the case. What are the vibes down there with all of that?
Pretty serious. Obviously, anytime that the state files an intention to seek death, it's going to be buzz around the courthouse. It's got a lot of media attention for various reasons. Obviously, the facts of the case, as well as the immigration issues involved in the case. So it's definitely.
Arctic is awesome. Arctic is a great person. Does great work. A lot of. I ask a lot of questions too. You're not annoying, Miranda. Southern Gal's awesome. Arctic Fox. Everybody in here is awesome. All right, let me move on to this here. I'm going to finish up a little bit of this here, and then I'm going to go to the missing persons case of the week.
A lot of buzz down here in Houston about this case.
There's a lot of different lanes.
So I did kind of hook up with Bob Ward, and I'm going to start doing a lot of stuff that he does. He's a reporter here in Massachusetts, but he's got really good stuff, and he's really doing a good job with some of the cases that don't get covered a lot here in Massachusetts. That's just a kind of like a programming note. So I'm going to start doing a lot of that stuff too next week for sure.
We can go down in this case because there is a lot happening. But if we just start with the basics, the fact that we have a 12-year-old girl who snuck out of her house, which honestly, most of us do as kids. And the worst that happens is we get grounded. I mean, you know, it's a normal, ordinary thing for a kid to do. And then she ends up in this horrific situation, murdered, sexually assaulted, her body left.
I think this kind of might have happened in the Asha Degree case too. I haven't thrown that out. I wonder if she was trying to just kind of go against the parents' wishes. And because I heard way back when with the Asher Degree case that she was planning on doing a sleepover at somebody's house, and she was told she couldn't. So I wonder if she was trying. I'm not saying that this is written in stone, but I'm wondering if she was trying to sneak out of the house and go to her friend's house anyways, and that's why she had her backpack packed. And I'm just wondering if that power being out might have caused the clocks to be a little bit confusing.
Left for someone else to find. I mean, that just rocks me to my very core. And the fact that this happened, in an area that should normally be safe, is that what people are talking about a bit too?
Yes. I mean, the facts of this case are gruesome. And so anytime you've got a crime against a child, and even more so a sexual assault that turns into a murder, that's definitely going to be what people are talking about. This was in the Greenspoint area of Houston, which isn't necessarily a safe area of town, but certainly people wouldn't expect for a 12-year-old that snuck out to ultimately be sexually assaulted and killed. So it's definitely, the facts are definitely something people are talking about down here in Houston.
And I think the facts are so shocking. We kind of went through them a bit there, and that could be the reason that led to the death penalty conversation. Is that right? The fact that we have a victim who's 12 years old, the way she was killed, and she was sexually assaulted, does that kind of bring up the conversation of death penalty?
I think it does. Obviously, as we move into the future and there's a little bit more progressive ideals, I think that jurisdictions are moving away from the death penalty. But on the scale of what kinds of cases jurisdictions will choose to seek death on here in Texas, this is definitely the type of case where you would see a prosecuting office seek death. So certainly the facts are a component at play in that decision by the DA's office.
So back when this happened in June, almost a year ago, I guess now, your then DA, Kim Ogg, said, we are thinking about the death penalty. We'll kind of keep you guys posted. And then in December announced that they were going to seek the death penalty.
Okay, so they did find her body. Okay, so I have this confused with another case, but they did. I just looked it up. They did find her. I think, was she lured out by an online predator? No. She kind of went out on her own, and then she met up with these two guys here, and then they ended up unaliving her. At least that's allegedly the case. We'll finish up a couple more seconds of this, and then I do want to move on to the missing persons case.
In those couple of months, what would the discussions have looked like for the prosecution? Would they have reached?
Okay, so I can read this because I'm here anyway. So on June 16, 2024, we covered this case last year. I think it was right after she went missing. Last year, around May and June, there were a ton of cases coming out of Houston anyways. South Texas too. There was a lot of cases coming out of Texas. There was that girl that was found. Remember, she was found in the reservoir there. There was so many cases coming out of Texas then. 12-year-old American girl was SA'd and unalived in North Houston, Texas, United States. The case attracted national attention as two illegal immigrants from Venezuela were charged with her unaliving. Authorities found her body the next morning in a creek in North Houston and determined she had been sexually assaulted and unalived. Texas prosecutors have indicated the suspects on charges of capital murder, kidnapping, and aggravated SA. Then Gary snuck out of her home at 10 p.m. on June 16th. The two accused men had started their evening at a restaurant while walking. This is a choice encounter here. While walking, they met Jocelyn and another on Kendall Road and talked to her for a couple of minutes. And according to the court documents, they were asking her for directions. So I don't think there was any conversation before that. The three then walked to a convenience store. After a few minutes, they walked together to a bridge where Jocelyn was unalived. Okay, so
reached out to Jocelyn's family. I know her mother has been a bit outspoken about the death penalty side of things. Would that have been a collaboration between the family and prosecutors kind of weighing the options?
Yes, it's a number of things, but you're right, Sierra. They're definitely going to talk to the family of the victim in this case and get their 2 cents. So there's a committee in Houston or in Harris County that will meet regarding cases like this, very serious capital murder type cases. And they'll look at a number of things, talking to the family, looking at the strength of the case.
I'm telling you, it's this is just another one of these brutal crimes that just makes you sick to your stomach. I mean, this is just terrible. Just don't do a striptease at a Waffle House at 2 a.m. Okay. They won't waive the 50%, 50 cent per egg surcharge. Is that what they charge now? 50 cent surcharge? Yes, New Hampshire is beautiful unless you live here. New Hampshire has its own problems. I don't think they're the same problems like Indiana and Florida, but they're problems nonetheless. All right, a couple more minutes on this, and then we're going to move on.
Looking at the facts of the case and what the defendants are actually alleged to have done. And from time to time, they will have discussions with the defense attorneys before coming to that decision to either seek death or not seek death in capital.
Remember the case? What was that case last year? The father let the daughter hang out with that guy, and he ended up unaliving her by the reservoir there. I think that was in. Pretty sure that was in close to Dallas, right? That was in close to Austin. I forget where that was. That was right around the same time this happened, I think.
Capital murder cases.
Talking about
all right, so let's. I'm gonna keep an eye on this here. I'm pretty sure that there'll be more on this to come here because these two. It's awful. It's just, you cover this stuff here and it just never gets any easier. They do the surcharge. Yes, it's honestly, that's why I'm here. It's just somebody's got to speak up for these people. This poor kid. And I remember back at the time, everybody was blaming her for leaving the house. That just sickens me. This was a chance encounter. This was just could have happened to anybody. All right, so let's do this here. This is the missing person case of the week. This is the Lauria Bible and Ashley Freeman case, and this is going to be about the new law here. So teenagers Ashley Freeman and Lauria were kidnapped, tortured, and RAPED, and believed to have been unalived, though the bodies were never found. Their case has led to legislation through the Oklahoma State House that could lead to harsher sentencing for people convicted of accessory to unaliving. So here we go. This is this case here. Sorry, let me share this. That happens to me all the time. I drag the screen and it creates a new screen, and then I have to go in and out of this thing to share it. So hold on a second. There we go.
Ashley Freeman were best friends together on the night of December 29th, 1999, celebrating Ashley's 16th birthday. Laura's mom remembers the last thing she said to her daughter.
That was.
You covered this last week, Karen Lee's here. Hey, Karen Lee, how are you? Good to see you. Karen Lee's in the house. Amazing too. Karen Lee, I think Karen Lee was actually my first subscriber. Karen Lee does a lot of work on other channels. She does. She's a big mod over there with. I think you're a big mod still for Chris. And I know she does mod for Manimal Reacts. Two great other channels, Chris and the Mob Crew. Karen Lee's amazing. In Louisville, 3 people were shot waiting in line at a license bureau. Yeah, no, it's some crazy person here in New Hampshire and Londonderry. I'm going to play that after this too. Anyways, let's go back to this. Sorry.
I love you, and that was it. You never think that that's going to be the last word you hear from your child.
Coming up, what happened to the house the girls were staying, the three men Laureen believes were involved, and what police think happened to Laura and Ashley. Laureen will be joining us to talk more about the case and the reason it is back in the headlines all these years later. First, though, we have several other.
Okay, so I'm going to hold on a second. Let me share this here. I got to come up with a better way of doing this because it just sucks to go in and out of all of these screens all the time. But anyways, let's do this read up here on this. This is, I try to use Wikipedia for this here. So Lauria Jane, pretty sure I'm pronouncing that right, Bible, Ashley Renee Freeman, born December, were American teenagers who disappeared between the evening of December 29th and early morning hours of December 30, 1999, from Freeman's home in Welsh, Oklahoma. We'll look that up in a little bit. Firefighters arrived at the Freeman home shortly after 5:30 on December 30th when a motorist reported a fire at the residence. After the fire had been extinguished, the bodies of Freeman's parents, Danny and Kathy, were recovered. Both had been pew-pewed at close range. However, law enforcement was able to find any trace of Bible and Freeman in the rubble of the home. On April 26, 2018, it was reported that Ronnie Dean Busiak was being charged with 4 counts of first-degree unaliving of killing Bible and Freeman and the Freeman family. And in 2020, Busiak was convicted and sentenced to 10 years in prison plus 5 years of probation. He was released in 2023, serving just 38 months. That figures. So let's go back to this here, and then we'll read a little bit more in a bit. This is the only problem with StreamYard. You have to keep going in and out of screens to
Updates on missing cases that we're covering. There is a growing urgency right now to find a man who has now been missing for 2 weeks after visiting a national park in Colorado. 31-year-old Jordan Marsters is from Denver. Authorities say he was last seen at the Black Canyon at Gunnison National Park on February 13th. The park's website says conditions.
look at the beauty of this place. It's just amazing. You guys are all awesome. I really appreciate everybody for being here. It would take me way too long to find that. Let me go back to this, but I do appreciate everybody for being here. You guys are all awesome.
Right now are icy and slippery, and some trails are packed with snow and ice. Jordan was reportedly driving a white Kia Fuente rental car with a Texas license plate.
We should set up some sort of, I'd love to set up some sort of a panel with everybody. Since Arctic is here, Arctic True Fox, Ellen Gal, maybe some other people. We should do some sort of like a midnight run of the missing, right? We just all get together and maybe do some sort of a drive, right? Like just to combine all of our resources, all of our stuff to do that on one massive live. That would be awesome.
He is 5'7", 140 pounds, and has blonde hair and blue eyes. If you have any information, contact the Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park. This week marks 1 year since the disappearance of Tennessee teenager Sebastian Rogers. Sebastian was 15 years old when he vanished from his home in Hendersonville. He has autism.
Like a blowout bash type thing for the missing. Yeah, you guys are always, you pick the night, man. I'll be there for sure. Even if I have to take a night off, I'd love to do that.
He is on the spectrum and is on medication, and those concerns immediately sparked a massive multi-agency search in the days that followed. 12 months later, though, and there is still.
See, I knew I shouldn't have said that. I knew I shouldn't have said, well, Karen Lee is, well, sorry about that, but you're a great mod anyway. So, but always good to have Karen Lee here for sure.
No answer, no confirmed sightings or leads in Sebastian's disappearance. His father, Seth, says that he believes his son is going to be found.
He's the one that's missing. He's not.
Karen's always welcome here. I've been following Karen for a long time. She's great people. Definitely a big fan of Karen Lee here.
Not here. He's lost, and he needs to be found and brought home.
It's definitely a notification for everyone to, hey, this kid's still not been found. Hey, he's still missing. He's still out there. Please revisit it and put it in front of people once again, just like it was in the first 3 or 4 days of the story.
This case has drawn a lot of attention online, and at one point, the Cajun Navy was involved. Now, Dog the Bounty Hunter is working on it as well. It has sparked plenty of speculation.
Is he still on that case? Because I thought he went to cover. I thought he went to cover the Los Angeles case there with the missing woman there. So did he go back onto that case? I don't know.
And accusations, and a lot of those towards Sebastian's parents. Sebastian's mom and stepfather even filed a restraining order against a YouTuber. The Sumner County Sheriff says that the rumor mill has.
Do I know who that YouTuber is? I think I do. Yeah, Karen Lee's awesome. I mean, Karen Lee's awesome. She's just a great mod. Another Colorado case to cover before CrimeCon. So CrimeCon is in Colorado this year.
Has done nothing to.
This poor kid. I should do another live on this kid here. This is just such a sad, horrible thing here. And I know the family must be getting frustrated for sure.
To help this case. The sheriff's office continues to tell the public that the case is active. It is ongoing. So if you have any information that can help in bringing Sebastian home, you can contact the number on your screen.
Like I said in JC Ann's chat, some of these cases, I think, they either missed something early on or somebody's hiding some information and they're just not comfortable with coming forward with the information. But that's just my opinion in this. And I think this case, the whole case here with this kid here might have something to do with bullying or something like that.
Now to this week's featured case. It's a haunting night in an Oklahoma community. Brutal murders, a fire, and no sign of 2 young girls, best friends, Lauria Bible and.
This case here we're covering tonight is just a weird, strange epitome of just the bizarre, out of the bizarre case here. And that's what I like about this lady here, Monty Hughes. She covers some of the really bizarre missing cases that don't get a lot of stuff. They're not always featured in the spotlight all the time.
And Ashley Freeman. For more than 2 decades, Laura's mother.
She doesn't seem to be as commercial as some of the other ones.
Has never stopped fighting for them. And now her work could help bring about change on the state level all these years later.
That's my opinion. I think it might have something to do with this, that he was possibly lured out to unfortunately either be bullied or by some sort of a girlfriend or something like that.
We love her. We've never stopped searching for her, and, till the day I die, unless somebody comes forward that knows something.
So this goes all the way back to 1999. I'll read that later. This is just a terrible case.
I'll continue to do that.
Lauria Bible has been searching for her daughter Laura for 25 years. On December 29th, 1999, Laura spent the night at her.
Has anybody ever heard of this case? I know Arctic Fox has. Henderson, Tennessee is an affluent area north of Nashville. Yep. I've been through there before. I've been to Memphis before, and I've been to San Antonio before, San Antonio, Texas. His mom and stepdad are super sus to me. I honestly think they were probably drunk, so they probably didn't hear much. I think Sebastian Robbins had an accident at the new housing construction area. Should be used. If you haven't heard of it, this case goes back a while. This has been covered by probably almost every single prominent YouTuber out there, but it hasn't received a lot of attention lately. I think didn't Grizzly True Crime do something on this a few weeks ago? I thought she might have. She's amazing too. Gazella is just. I love Gazella to death. She's been following Gazella for forever. I was probably one of the first 100 people she had. I remember when she was on with the guy from Scotland Yard. Remember him? Gazella's amazing.
Their best friend Ashley Freeman's house to celebrate Ashley's 16th birthday.
I love you, and that was it. You know, you never think that that's going to be the last word you hear from your child.
On the morning of December 30th, Lorene got a call from her son telling her the Freeman's house was on fire. Police found the body of Ashley's mother, Kathy, in the bedroom. She'd been shot in the head, but they couldn't find Ashley's dad, Danny, or the girls. After a day-long search, Lorene said police released the scene. She and her husband, Jay, went back to the house, and the next day made a grisly discovery.
When we get there, we looked up there and we found Danny's body laying face up on the floor.
Danny had also been shot, but there was no sign of the girls. Laura's car was found in the driveway with the keys in it. Her purse, her driver's license, and...
All right, so let me see here. I'm far more sus of Seth than Katie, but until Ellie states any of them as suspect, the mindless speculation has to see. Now, I thought that they ruled out Seth. Arctic, the speculation can be very damaging. Wendy Felton disappeared from her house in Marion, Indiana in 1987. I know her sister-in-law. They are still searching. I can look into that if you want. I know this case. Police were corrupt and didn't solve it for years, even though they had evidence from day 2. You're talking about this case here, Mustang? Yeah, I wanted to cover. Southern Gal had a person on her chat too. I think that was Monday night. She had a case from Revere, Massachusetts. That's the case that I'm working on right now, actually. And there was a triple unaliving in Belize that the three women from Massachusetts, Revere, Massachusetts, anyways, were found unalive in Belize. And I'm going to be covering that too. The one from Oklahoma. Oh, okay. Let me keep doing this here.
And her Christmas money were all left behind in the house.
We had 150 neighbors, people that had come, and they literally picked up every piece of furniture that had fell.
Yes, yeah, I hate that too. I don't until I have no problem with people's opinions. I don't. They did this in Delphi too. I have no problem with people's opinions, but when they constantly harass family and there's not enough evidence I just won't go there. I won't do that. Now, if other people do that, as far as I'm concerned, that's fine. I don't have to watch it. I don't have to. But until there's evidence that I can actually kind of back and I can kind of go in my own head and try to debunk the whole theory, I'm just not going to get on the family bandwagon. But there is some evidence that, usually in crimes like that, it's usually somebody close to the victim, but it's not always the case. Let but I agree with some of the statement here that Karen Lee said, accusing a mother of a missing autistic teen without solid evidence of wrongdoing, who has fully cooperated with law enforcement, is heinous. It is. I have to have evidence. I have to have hard rock evidence.
Make sure.
I mean, I keep going back to the Susan Smith case. I mean, I knew she was guilty basically right from the beginning. She wasn't crying. She just was not. You could tell, and I know it's hard to command a cry when you're forced to do it. I mean, you're in shock. Your kids are unalive and all of that stuff. But she just wasn't. She wasn't authentic to me. She wasn't. She just wasn't crying. You could tell that she just wasn't crying, but that was just obvious to me. But very few cases are that obvious. But until I have evidence,
The girls wasn't underneath furniture. But until I took that house to the ground, I wasn't moving. I was going to make sure when I left there, when I said the girls not there, I'm 100% sure.
Lorene said dozens of FBI agents joined a team from the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation for weeks looking for the girls. But while the case remained open, police eventually moved on to other cases. But Lorene and her husband, Jay, didn't give up. For years, they crossed the country tracking down every lead that came their way. New leads in 2017 and 2018 indicating that 3 men, Ronnie Busick, Philip Welsh, and David Pennington, were involved in the grisly crime. Police found evidence that the girls had been kidnapped, tied up, and raped in a mobile home for several days in Pitcher, Oklahoma, less than 25 miles away. Police believe the girls were strangled.
It's bad enough that 2 16-year-old girls see and hear a mom getting shot, a dad getting shot, they being abducted, taken over to a place and held, and then just taken by strangers and things done.
Okay. Whenever I hear of Oklahoma, the first thing I think of is a cult. Okay. So did we read that already? Okay. So let's go back to this here. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Okay. So did we read on December 29th, 1999? High school friends Lauria Bible and Ashley Freeman of Welsh, Oklahoma. Okay. So the investigation, let's go down here. The investigation. In the decade following the disappearance of Bible and Freeman, 2 convicted killers, Tommy Linsells and Jeremy Jones, confessed to murdering them, but subsequently recanted their admissions. Jones had claimed that he murdered Freeman's parents as a favor for a friend over a drug debt. Then he took the girls to Kansas. Why do they always take them to Kansas? Where he shot them and threw their bodies into an abandoned mine. Searches of the mine, Jones identified, proved fruitless, however, and Jones subsequently admitted he had fabricated the story in order to get better food and additional food. That sounds right. Arrest and conviction of Ronnie Busick. On April 2018, it was reported that Ronnie Dean Busick, then aged 66, had been arrested and charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder in connection with the death of Bible and Freeman and the Freeman family. 2 other, albeit deceased, suspects were named as well. Warren Walsh II, David Pennington. These deceased ages here. According to the Washington Post, at least a dozen witnesses claimed all 3 men bragged about sexually assaulting and murdering Bible and Freeman, having taken Polaroid photographs of them. Remember Polaroid photographs? Several witnesses alleged that the 3 men had killed the Freemans over drug money and that the girls were held captive in Welsh's trailer for several days before being murdered. This doesn't make any sense to me here. Several witnesses alleged that the 3 men had killed the Freemans over drug money and the girls were held captive in Welsh's trailer. So if they were being held captive, was that for ransom? How are you going to get ransom out of dead people? I don't know. All right, so let's go back to this here. Hold on a second here. CJK's here. Hey, CJK, good to see you. It's good to see everybody here. I'm going to go back to this here.
To you just because we can.
Two of the suspects, Welch and Pennington, have died. Ronnie Busick was arrested and jailed for murder, kidnapping, and arson. He was then released within 38 months for good behavior. He agreed to speak with Laureen.
He said, well, I didn't kill anybody. I didn't say.
Did they, you think that they kidnapped them to TNR them? Something is just off on this case. This was my opinion.
Fired anything, and I didn't kidnap anybody. I was in the car. I said, you might not have killed anybody, you may not have set fire to anybody, and you might not have actually grabbed the girls and put them in the car, but you drove them from that place, and you did not pick up a phone and call anybody and tell them these girls need help.
For now, Laureen is still waiting for answers. Families in their rural town recently gathered to mark 25 years since Laura and Ashley's disappearance.
They're still in our hearts. They're in our children's hearts now. I mean, there's kids that were not even born when they disappeared, but by George, they know about them, and they care just as much.
And as they wait,
I mean, Oklahoma and places like that, there's some fucked up places like that too. I mean, it's just not saying the whole state of Oklahoma, but this whenever I hear this stuff, to me it sounds cultish. It sounds almost like drugs would work in that situation too. But this whole thing to me sounds more cultish than druggish. But I don't know. What do I know?
each year, Laureen and Jay add plants and art to a memorial garden created in the girls' memory.
My thing is I need to bring my child, and when I find Laura, I'll find Ashley. They're together.
Yeah, I agree with that. 100%. We should all compile a list of missing people in our states and share. Absolutely. Any case you would like me to see me cover? Awesome. There's Arctic Fox True Crime Gmail there. He does awesome work. Okay, so 1-800 The Lost FBI, and this is still the tip line. I'm assuming that 1-800-522-8017.
Or wherever there are. I want to bring her home to a place that I can go and, you have more peace.
There is a bill now making its way through the Oklahoma State House. It's called Laura and Ashley Law, and it would require someone convicted of accessory to murder in the first or second degree to serve 85% of their prison sentence before being eligible for parole. That bill passed through a first committee this month. Ronnie Busick served just 3 years of a 10-year prison sentence after being convicted as an accessory in the crime against the girls. Joining us now is Lauria Bible. She is Laura's mom. Laureen, thank you so much for being with us and for sharing your daughter's story. I want to start with Laura and who she was, what she meant to you, and what her plans were for the future. Just give us a glimpse into how special she is to you.
Well, at 16, she had her whole life ahead of her. She loved school. She loved her fellow classmates. She was a cheerleader at Blue Jacket. She had her own babysitting service. Her and her two, there was a total of 5 girls on the Bible side, and all those girls were
the cops unalived the brother of one of the girls, and that's why there was no investigation, because the family filed a wrongful death suit. Okay, those 3 guys scared a lot of people, even the police. Sounds like Mustang knows a lot about this case here. Yes, those guys are rumored to have killed other people. They were meth dealers, meth monsters.
really close. Her oldest cousin and her second cousin they were really close. They were more like sisters. So in some of the pictures of the three girls, they were just connected at the hip. But she was always found.
No, the thing is that those people there that live there dug in. You know, they're entrenched. They've been there generations, families. They're basically the place. You know, they just don't go anywhere. They stay there. They have offspring there. They have generations that live there, and they're entrenched in that place. So that's why I say almost like a cultish type thing. They basically own everything there. They have a way of hiding things too.
The good in everybody. It doesn't matter, you know. There was nobody she ever disliked or didn't like. Her goal in life was she was her junior and senior year of high school. She was going to go to Votech and become a cosmetologist. She loved doing hair, makeup, nails, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And her friendship with Ashley, tell us about that.
Ashley, well, Laura didn't like sports. Ashley was the athletic one of the two. She was the basketball player and stuff like that. Laura didn't like hunting and fishing and stuff like that with her dad and her brother, but Ashley did. She could hunt, she could fish, she liked that type. So they both had unique qualities. Ashley, same way, she was very active. Both girls were nominated to their National Honor Society in both their schools, liked by everybody. She really didn't know what she wanted to do in life, but she was very upbeat, outgoing.
Take me back, Laureen, to that day. They were celebrating Ashley's 16th birthday. What do you remember from that December?
Well, Ashley had come to our house and stayed Sunday night, Monday, and Tuesday till in the afternoon after Christmas at our house. And then her and Laura left here Tuesday afternoon to drive back to Welch to Ashley's house. From our house to Ashley's house is like 13 miles across country. And that way she could stay the night with Ashley, and then on Wednesday go to town with Ashley and go out to eat and go buy her a little birthday present.
All right, buddy. Hope you have a good night. Arctic True Fox is taking off. Hope you sleep well. Hope you have a good week, and we'll figure out some sort of special live panel live. I'm available any Saturday night, obviously. But I can be available during the day. Just let me know. We should get together for sure. That'd be amazing. The cops killed the brother and one of the girls, and that's why there was no investigation because the family filed. I've read that already. Have a good week, Arctic True Fox. You do amazing work. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. All right.
Present and stuff like that. Well, when you tell your child, it's their friend to go overnight, spend the night, you don't ever think, what if? So they were late leaving Wednesday to go to town to take Ashley out for her birthday. It was in the afternoon. By the time they took her out to eat, took her shopping at Walmart, went and saw her grandma, Kathy's mom, it was dark. We do not let Laura drive at night by herself. She could drive during the day, but at night, somebody had to be with her. So Kathy and them had stopped by to see if Laura could go ahead and stay another night, Wednesday night. And then that way Laura could drive home the next morning. Well, you never think. I mean, she was fine Tuesday night. What's one more night? And we said, yeah, go ahead, but you need to be back here early. We had dentist appointments the next day. You never realize the next day when it comes that your daughter's never coming home.
That next day never came. At what point, Laureen, did you hear about the fire? Were you made aware that something had gone wrong?
My son called me about 7:30 and said his girlfriend lived in Welch, had called him and said she'd heard that the Freeman family's house was on fire. So I told him, I said, well, you need to get in the truck and go and see if you can help them and check on your sister and call and let me know. That was probably 7:30. By about 10 minutes to 8, the county deputy walked in where I worked and said, Lorraine, I need to talk to you. Do you know Ashley Freeman? And I said, yes, that's my daughter's best friend. And Laura is at her house. She stayed the night with them. And I could tell by just looking at him, looking at his face, something was wrong. And I told him, I said, my son had called and said their house was on fire. He's on his way there now to see if he can help and check on his sister. And I could just tell that it was worse. And then he told me that the whole house was burnt to the ground, that they'd found a body, asked if I could explain the layout of the Freeman's home so that they could look. And then he just looked at me and said, okay, I'm going to go. We'll get back in contact with you, and just left.
And then they found Ashley's parents.
They found the first day, it was Kathy. She was laid. The only floor that was left in the trailer was the Danny and Kathy's bedroom. They had a waterbed, and Kathy's body was laying over the foot of the waterbed.
Wow. So at this point, the girls are missing. Tell me about the search, Laureen, in those early hours.
The girls are missing, and Danny's still missing the first day. We did not know till about 10 o'clock that night that at some point that first day, somebody had called in and told the authorities that they had spotted Danny Freeman in a white Ford truck and had the two girls.
Is Mustang 65 leaving too? Have a good week, Mustang 65. It's always good to see you here. I don't blame them. It's late. But good night. Have a good night. Have a good week. Appreciate all your support. Happy birthday, Arctic Fox.
And he wanted to trade the girls for the deputy that shot their son the year before. He'd trade them. Now, the law enforcement, the OSBI did not tell us that, but they knew that the first day. So they're up there sitting around. Our county people at the time, that once they found Kathy's body in the fire, they sat down and turned it over to the OSBI. They did nothing. They sit there all day and did nothing. The OSBI come in. They found Kathy's body. We couldn't do anything till the county coroner got there. And that was about 2:30 in the afternoon when they took Kathy's body out of there. And the next hour and a half, they said they searched, which they didn't look. And then by 5 o'clock, they turned the scene back over to the family.
So, Laureen, let's fast forward to 2017, 2018, when word of 3 suspects involved, and maybe you knew about these 3 potential suspects prior. What was the connection with these suspects and Ashley's parents or dad?
So good to see you here, CJK. Always good to have you here in the chat. You guys are all amazing. So these are the 3 guys here. Here's Ronnie Busick, Philip Welsh, David Pennington. These 2 here are no longer with us, so we'll get no more information out of them.
Well, it's Ashley's dad. It's not her mom. It's her dad. From 2000 to 2016, I mean, we had a lot of stuff. We did a few things here and there, but the OSBI agent at the time, Steve Nutter, he didn't do a lot. I mean, we went and talked to people. People would call us. We would go and we would look. In 2016, we had a friend that helped make the Find Lauria Bible Facebook page. And in 2016, in November, December is when we started getting a lot of people saying, hey, I need to remain anonymous. Can you talk to me? And we started talking with people. And that's when I went and talked to the DA, investigator Gary Stencil. And by then, Tammy Ferrari is a new OSBI agent of our area. And at that time, I was going to go find a well in Stopa, Kansas. And I went in there and told them, well, if you're with me or you're against me, because this is what I'm going tomorrow to do. I've done this on my own for 16 years. You either come with me or you can stay here, but I'm still going to go do it.
And was this the first time? Was this the first time, Lorraine, that you started to generate an idea of what had happened, or did you know prior to this what had taken place?
Well, as far as
I know I should technically do more lives during the day. And I make an excuse that I work nights, but I probably should do some more lives during the day. But it's always good to have you here for sure. Yeah, this is deliverance for sure. This reminds me a lot of the whole was the case with the mom and the chaperone that got on alive last year that were the custody battle with the crazy people, the cult leaders there. I forget the name now, but this reminds me a lot of that.
The girls missing and stuff. I mean, we had over the first 16 years, as people were being arrested in Craig County, Ottawa County.
The Kansas mom's case, remember that?
And they would talk to people, and the word on the street was that the girls were taken from the scene. They were in the wrong place at the wrong time. People took them because they didn't know what to do with the two girls.
Yes, thank you, Southern Gal. I had it there. It was right at the tip of my tongue, but I couldn't. You got it.
We were also told that the girls were taken to I
mean, they take things seriously out here. You know, this is, like I said, these people, they've been there forever. I mean, and so entrenched in that culture and that environment that it's got crazy folk. We're crazy up here too, but these people down, they're serious about their shit. I mean, and if they're gonna commit a crime like this, they're gonna cover it up pretty good.
A New Year's Eve party, that they were drugged, they were raped, they were sodomized, they were beat, they were held.
Either way, these poor people, just okay. So on December 31st, 1999, Barbara's parents, Lorraine and Jay, returned to the scene, hoping to find any additional clues that law enforcement may have missed. While walking around the extensive rubble, they discovered what appeared to be the shape of another body, and upon looking closer, notified the police. The second body was determined to be that of Danny. Like his wife, he had also been shot execution style, so that seems drug related there. I mean, that's what they do. According to Lorraine, from what she could see on the scene, the body had no face. Following the discovery, the scene was re-examined, yet no sign of Bible and Freeman were found. In 2010, the Freeman family initiated court proceedings to have Ashley declared legally dead. So, yeah, it's awful. I think they watched one too many Rob Zombie movies. I think I hear banjo playing. Yeah.
Within the first 5 years of the girls missing.
Wow.
I just couldn't find out who did it, who's responsible. But, when you make it your life that, you're going to find out what happened to your child, you will go to all kinds of depths to meet people, find out what you need to know.
To the end of the earth is where you'll go searching for answers. So Philip Welsh, David Pennington have both died.
It's just so, it's so sad. This is so awful. These poor kids,
They were suspects in your daughter's death. And Ronnie Busick, how did you connect with Ronnie Busick? How did that conversation?
I mean, these people could have, become so much, it's just, life cut short like that. It just
shouldn't happen.
Well, when I found out that Philip Welch had passed away and that David Pennington had passed away, talking with people from 2016 that come forward, and these were not the people that.
Yep. I mean, these guys here, they could have done anything.
the same age as those guys. It was their children or children that was in there that now had families and had kids of their own, thought that I needed to know. And when they told me about Ronnie Busick, I used social media. I found him. At the time, he had a sister at Geronimo, Oklahoma.
That looks a little like David Crosby.
And they thought maybe he was there, but some of the pictures.
Okay, so this is not a good guy. Convicted of accessory to felony murder, sentenced to 10 years in prison, released on parole in 2023 for good behavior. So you just know he's probably out there doing no good.
On his Facebook page, I have a nephew that lived at the time in Wichita, Kansas, and he told me, Emery, that's Wichita, Kansas, and that's how we found him in Wichita, Kansas.
Gail is here. Hey, Gail Hurd, good to see you. It's always good to see Gail Hurd in the chat. I hope you're well, Gail. Not a huge fan. He turned Michael Myers into a hobo. Very, very sad. Poor kids, poor parents. Absolutely. And it's all about the victims. I mean, it's and the victims' families for sure too. I hope Barbara's okay. I know she was tired earlier tonight. I saw her on JC Ann's chat, but I hope she's well. This is just sad. It's horrible. These horrible predators here probably had something to do with it. But this guy here obviously is, is what it is.
OSBI and the investigators went there, brought him back to Oklahoma, and they brought him back one evening, and the next day, Ronnie said he'd talk to me. Sitting in that room, I told him, I'm not the police. I'm not.
Yeah, you're a nurse in a aren't you a nurse in a Department of Corrections? Everybody's innocent in prison. Everybody, and any given day, 99.9% of the prison inmates are not guilty. They've done nothing wrong. Under the weather a few months. Oh, that's awful. Oh, your mother passed. Oh, you poor thing. Yeah, I'm missing Barb and Charlotte. I feel so awful for that, Gail. Oh, you poor thing. I hope you feel better. Sorry to hear about your mom. Moms are amazing people. I feel that's terrible. Sorry to hear that, Gail. But I hope you feel better. I swear by orange juice. That sucks. Good to have you here in the chat, though. You're always welcome here. Gail Hurd is amazing. She's an amazing person. We're with you here for sure.
I want to find my daughter. And that's when he looked at me and he told me he didn't kill anybody. I didn't set fire to anybody, and I didn't abduct no girls. And I said, but you was in the car, and he told me yes, he was.
Do you think it's possible that these girls were trafficked? Do you think it's possible? Because I don't know a lot about this case, a ton, but it's possible, in my opinion, that these girls might have been maybe sold out, trafficked. I wouldn't put a lot of faith in that, but it's possible. I would put that maybe 30%.
Was in the car. I said, and you drove out of there with those two girls in the car. Did you call and did you try to get help for those girls? No, I didn't. After you took them and you took them.
Dino is still here. You're still in pain, but it's getting better. Are those your ribs? The same thing? I just feel awful about that. Gail's amazing. Just sorry to hear about your mom for sure. Yeah, I thought Dino would be out of here by now with his cell phone charging. Boy, is it windy tonight.
come over to picture. Did you try to call anybody? No, I didn't. I said, well, have you heard guilty by association? And he said, yeah, his parents had told him when he was a teenager that one of these days he was going to pay for crimes that he didn't actually do with the people he associated with.
So did he tell you what happened to the girls?
He didn't actually tell me that. I just told him, this is what I know. But he never once told me, no, that didn't happen to him.
And what happened to him? He went to jail. He was arrested and
he
charged.
Was in he was in Craig County Jail for 18 months till his thingy. Then they did a plea bargain that said that he would tell us, what happened. They even took him out to show him the places, and then he says he can't. His thing is he can't remember. But he took a plea deal of accessory to 4 counts of murder.
And then he got out, which brings us to this bill going through the Oklahoma House. What is the bill? What's your involvement in it? And how do you hope, Laureen, it will help other families?
Well, when you go and you put a lot of time, energy to find out, the people that murdered your child, and then you find one and you try to hold them accountable, that they can be in the system. And because of the laws that's in the books, old laws, that just because I'm there and I see it happen, that I can be out in 18 months. I can do what I want. I have the freedom. I have rights that the families of missing parents don't have rights. I mean, he's 17 miles from my house.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just because people do well in prison, it's just, I agree with that 100%. Just because people say the right things and do the right things in prison and in jail sentences does not mean that they're rehabilitated. That just means they want to get out and do it again. It's such a hard thing to actually adjudicate because you just never know when people are telling you the truth or not.
Walking around doing what he wants.
Is he able to tell you, Lorraine?
This bill is to, if you are connected, and this is, you have to be convicted by a jury, and you are saying, I was there, I saw this happen, I did nothing to help the person, that you will spend 85%.
Oh my God, you poor thing. First, pleurisy, fractured vertebrae, 3 broken ribs, whole right side was in severe pain. I fell into a table. Did you lose your balance? Oh, that's awful. Good Lord, is right. Oh, that's awful. I feel so bad. That's terrible. Is there anything that we can do, Gail? Oh, that's terrible. I feel so awful.
Percent of the time, just like you pulled the gun, or however that person was killed, you're going to get the same thing because you did nothing to get help for those people. You may not have done it, but you did nothing to get them help.
And you could have.
And that's what this law is for. Is so another family doesn't have to think that once you find somebody that was involved, that they get to out and get to walk around.
Did he apologize, Lorraine? And if he did or didn't, does that matter to you?
No, he doesn't apologize. He just uses, I don't remember, I had this injury that's left me some parts of my brain I don't remember. But he's been in the game of the drug world long enough. I still say that there's more than just those 3 gentlemen. I still say there's somebody else out there that he's more scared of. I'm not coming to kill him. The cops aren't coming to kill him. But whoever's out there that knows.
I agree with what she's saying. I think this is higher. This is a higher hit than just them maggots that they call like it's almost similar to like a really, really unorganized mob thing where you have, you see these movies all the time, right? You have the high-ranking official, like the mother or something. It's just very similar to the God's Misfits. Like you have the mother, right? And then you have the higher the sons underneath, and then underneath that you have the other little goons. That it's like a cult. It's almost like a huge like Hatfield and McCoy's type thing. It's like this whole there's like hundreds of them, and you can't get away from these people. It's so that's what I think is going on in here. I think it's more of like a whole family affair here.
Knows what happened to the Danny and Kathy and where those girls are. If he talks, you're dead.
I know it's difficult, and you've already shared some pretty grisly details, but how were the girls killed? Do you know? And was Ronnie or anyone else able to give you some clues as to where their bodies may be?
Well, they're somewhere around Pitcher. It's a mining community that was shut down.
What did she just say? She said Fisher. Is that what she said? Hold on a second. Pitcher. She said Pitcher, Oklahoma. So let's play this here.
Down, closed down, but there's a lot of mine pits, holes that you can drop people down in and you'll never see them again. I mean, there's over 150 mining holes in that town. It's also the Tar Creek Superfund site. So the whole town has been bought out.
Didn't they just have a tornado there last year? I'm pretty sure. You taking off, Mino Dino? Good night, buddy. I got a couple more things to go to, and then I'm going to be getting out of here. Mino Dino's awesome. Thank you, buddy, for coming in. I really appreciate that. Mino Dino's awesome. He's a great guy. Stay safe, buddy. So here's hold on a second. Here's let's just go quickly here to Pitcher, Oklahoma. My late father-in-law did business with the Chicago outfit when Indian Forces Billy Dauber moved to our small town in the 1970s. Yeah, I mean, the thing about the it's kind of the same thing. It's the difference is the mafia's got much more of a structured thing. It's almost like a government, right? The mafia runs almost like a government, a small government, where these cultish type things. So here's Pitcher, Oklahoma here, and this is, let's take a little ride here. This is basically it. Peaceful, nice place, flat land, right? I mean, it's a beautiful place. But you can tell this is, a kind of like everybody who lives here knows everybody. It's thank you, Miranda. Dauber did 20 murders. Pitcher, and there are huge sinkholes everywhere. They will never find them there. The mine too close to the surf, and they had to close the town. Also, Chad piles are hazardous. Yeah. Thank you, Miranda. All right, let's go back to this here. I just wanted to show you where this one. The town is condemned. No one lives there anymore. Yeah, it looks barren. It looks non-existent, really. All right, let's go back to this here. Yeah, they're not good. Sinkholes are not good.
They had a E5 tornado went through there and totally destroyed Pitcher, Oklahoma. So it's a perfect gift. If you're going to dump bodies, you can, and that town, what the.
Yeah, we hope you feel better. I'm glad your son is helping you out. just for you, Gail. You're an amazing person. You'll get over this for sure.
Mine shafts are.
Just sorry to hear about your mom, though.
You can dump bodies in nobody will ever know they're there. But we were told by other individuals that were supposedly, quote, at this party, that the girls were brought in, they were drugged. They were passed around from one guy to the next.
The Italians, anyways. The Irish mob, not so much. I mean, they were the mob. The Italian mafia is basically like a government. They're run very similar to a government, and you have to kind of be okayed to get certain things done. It just doesn't work like that. It was a Superfund site. The government brought people out there. It was hit hard. Yeah, I remember hearing about this. Was it all the way back in 2008 though? I thought they just got one a couple of years ago. Superfund site with the government, yeah. Yeah, when Oklahoma gets hit by a tornado, they get hit hard because it's all flat. There's nothing really shielding anything from it. It's just all right.
Rape, sodomized, brutally raped over and over. And then at the end, we were told that they drugged the girls and then shot one of them in the back.
Well, why would they do that? That doesn't make any sense to me. Why would they do that? I mean, I guess so that there's no witnesses or whatever, but I don't know. That just doesn't make any sense to me.
Wow.
I mean, it's possible.
Lorraine, this mystery, this grisly murder, this horrific case, the nightmare you've been living has impacted your community in ways that it's hard to even describe.
Yeah, that's a good age, 89. It's a long time. Lived a good. The sound looks like she lived a very long life. People on meth do crazy things, absolutely. But there's got to be some sort of money exchange, right? And I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying there's got to be some sort of a money exchange because if it's a drug deal, that's bad. There's got to be some sort of money exchange in it, or why do it? So that's why I'm saying I think it's possible that they maybe have been sold. People will do strange things for money, man.
We talk to people who have said that they.
Unaliving them is fine, I guess. It's kind of payback, but they had already killed the parents, so what good does that do? I'm pretty sure the money aspect of that had to come into play. I'm just saying, I'm just running things through my head, but that to me that sounds fairly possible.
Show up to remember your daughter and to remember Ashley. What does that mean to you, given the way they were killed? That
our favorite Charlotte is here. Yeah, 89. If I live to be 89, oh, my God, that'll be a miracle. 89 is a long life. She's seen a lot of stuff, man. That's good. It's good to see Charlotte here. Charlotte's here. Charlotte's amazing. I always try to stay long enough on here for Charlotte. It's always good to see Charlotte in the chat, making sure she's okay. This is just, these are the people you feel bad for. Lauria Bible and Ashley Freeman. And of course the parents too. The execution style shot to the back of the head, though, that's definitely mafia. That's definitely like a hit. That's they wanted that person dead.
their lives were important, that they meant something, that people remember them and still want to talk to you about them.
Well, and it's like I said, I tell people, like, the 3 days after the girls disappeared, John Walsh called me, and then he had America's Most Wanted. And he told me, you have a decision you have to make right here and right now. Either you're going to go hide in a closet And in 5 years, nobody will know who Lauria Bible was, or you're going to have to be her voice. And then hopefully within 5 years that we will know what happened to him. He said, you're going to have to be her voice. Well, I'm not one to go hide. So for me to step out and let people know that this happens, we're a quite small community.
I feel so bad for her too. This is just so, 1999 is a long time ago.
The county has 14,000 people in the community. You don't think stuff like this happens in small town America, but it can happen anywhere. And it takes, like I said, it takes a community to back up when you're trying to do stuff, trying to find answers. Because if I don't personally know somebody, somebody else knows somebody. And at one point I was asked, do you know everybody? And I said, no, but I know somebody that knows somebody.
Lorraine, your daughter, Laura.
That's an achievement, man, to make it to 89, right? You must be doing something right. I mean, that's a long, good life there. Sorry to hear that, Gail.
His voice, your Ashley's voice, and thank you for sharing that powerful voice and their story with us. And this legislation, I know it means
nobody ever prepares you for watching your parents get old, man. I've said that millions of times. They prepare you for everything else, but watching your parents get old is not an easy thing, man. All right, so I'll keep an eye on this case here. I just wanted to do this case here because I followed it before in the past, but I haven't really dug deep into this case. But anything, people will do the strangest things for sure. But I wouldn't be surprised if they were kind of like trafficked. All right, so let's go here. This case came up to, this is the one I was talking about, Belize here. All of these three people were from Revere, Massachusetts, one of my old stomping grounds, Winthrop and Revere. 3 women from Revere, Massachusetts were found unalived in their hotel room in Belize. Courtney Cole spoke with an investigator in Belize about the cause of death, and we'll play a few of these things here. But there's been a lot of stuff going on in Revere lately.
We have learned the cause of death that claimed 3 young women from Revere found dead on vacation in Belize. But their family members, friends, even police still need answers. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Lisa Hughes.
And I'm David Wade. Investigators tell us that they have a lot to figure out here. WBZ's Courtney Cole is back in studio. And Courtney, you spoke directly today with the investigators in Belize. What did they reveal to you?
Now, David and Lisa, the investigators told me that an initial autopsy found a buildup of fluids in all of the victims' lungs. That's what caused their deaths. But the police are still awaiting final test results to see what caused all of that fluid buildup. Now, those victims are 23-year-old Kautar Nukad, 24-year-old Iman Mala, and 26-year-old Wafa El Arad. Investigators tell me that those test results, they will come in 3 waves. So first, we'll see tests on hotel room surfaces for any drugs or chemicals in the room. Then human toxicology samples will be sent to the U.S. Detectives expect to get those results within 2 weeks. That'll tell them if there were drugs in the victims' systems. Then after that, the
Yeah, it's I know that some people have different outlooks on things, but I love my mother. My mother is she's just an amazing freaking person. So I get that. I just talked to my mom last week. They get old, it's you expect people to last forever. You just do. It was one of the stops. Yeah, I mean, they were over there for I think I don't know if they were on vacation, but this has been all over the news down here in Massachusetts for sure.
investigators will look at tissue samples. A final cause of death could be expected within a month or so. Either way, the police chief says that solving the cause of death is important for the families and the nation of Belize.
It is important for us to arrive at
a definitive cause of death and what led to that cause of death. Not just for the satisfaction of the family members who are grieving, but for us as a nation.
Now, alcohol and gummy bears found in the room were also taken for testing at a national laboratory. The country's fire marshal says initial testing has also ruled out carbon monoxide poisoning, but that still needs to be ruled out by toxicology results. The government is working to get all 3 of the victims' bodies back to the U.S. The investigators stress there is no reason to stop any travel to Belize, but the State Department warns Americans to use increased caution.
So this is, let's go here. Certain meds will cause fluid buildup. Yep. Well, they were partying for sure. Hold on a second here. Let me, I just want to go. Belize got annihilated this year with hurricanes. This is part of the Bay of Campeche here. Basically, this is the Gulf of Mexico, technically the Gulf of America now. But there's Belize here, Jamaica there. So this is the Bay of Campeche, Yucatan Peninsula here. This is where all of the hurricanes came from this year. It's basically right in this gyre here. There's a low pressure that spins here, especially in the summer months, late summer, early fall. And these storms just spin off here and create, circulation. And that's exactly what happened this year. So Belize, Tulum, Cancun, Yucatan, these places, Campeche, were obliterated by at least 3 or 4 different hurricanes. And they actually had one that formed down here and went east, which is weird. But there's Belize right there. It's a beautiful place. I think Southern Gal just said she's been there. So let's do some photos. Let's go. Let's go to Belize right now. Look at this place. Oh my God. I could live here for sure. But, in the summer months, hurricane season, this can be kind of difficult. All right, so let's go back to this here. We start the Tulum too, yeah. Emerson waiting for results, been crazy. Yeah, you must. I'm glad you're not in any pain though. Yeah, any type of Gulf like that, especially when you're on the eastern side, it's white sands and all of that stuff. That's fantastic.
In the nation. If you'd like to see my full interview with the investigators, you can go to youtube.com and search CBS News Boston. David.
Wow, good work there, Courtney. Thank you.
All right, so let's hold on. This is women in Belize confirmed. Let's try this one here.
The autopsies of the 3 women were conducted on Monday, 24th February. So we did the 3 autopsies.
So these are the 3 here. These all have GoFundMe pages on them.
Starting in the morning and continuing one after the other. We had our 3 medical examiners be present during the autopsy. The lead examiner concluded the cause of death, the terminal cause of death, to be acute pulmonary edema. And the antecedent causes,
Yeah, the first thing that I would do differently is patience, right? That's one of the things. Yeah, let's go. We'll all get on a boat. I'll steer. Southern Gal can hand out the wrenches. Duck.
We would call them, or due to, is still pending investigation. So acute pulmonary edema was determined by the medical examiner to have been the cause of.
Oh, did he just say pulmonary edema?
Determined by the medical examiner to have been the cause of death for all 3 victims, and the what led to acute pulmonary edema is what is pending investigation. And that term simply means that we need to do further testing on samples taken from the bodies during autopsy. So as part of the standard process for the postmortem examination, samples are taken not only of blood, but also vitreous humor, some tissue samples, stomach contents as well. And so to be able to provide the laboratory testing for the medical examiner to get that information as to what may have led to acute pulmonary edema. That is where we are now.
So I'm pretty sure people know this anyways. Pulmonary edema is a condition where excess fluid accumulates in the lungs, causing difficulty breathing. So that could be anything, right? Heart failure and other conditions that raise pressure in the heart increase the risk of pulmonary edema. Heart failure, kidney disease, high altitude, fluid overload. Drinking too much, receiving intravenous fluids can cause certain medications, lung infections, trauma. Let's see here. Kidney disease. Did I just say that? Kidney disease, high altitude, fluid overload. So there's a lot of different types of things. So who knows? They're not going to know a lot until they get the toxicology back.
With those further testing. The process for further testing involves 3 different sections or scopes, if you will. The first one that we will start this week is to try to identify what types of controlled substances or drugs, if any, were in some of the samples taken from the scene. So these were from different items that would have been collected from the hotel room, to see if there were any controlled substances found in those.
I wonder if there's a date rape possibility here in these, or some sort of a drug that was administered to them at some sort of a bar, or but I guess, like I said, probably not going to know exactly. We may not ever know until we get some sort of a talks back on this. Whoops, what just happened? Okay, play one more of this here, and then did we just play that one? Yes. Okay. All right, so let's go on to something else. Hold on a second. I do want to play this because I liked this guy. So we'll go. This guy here was such a great actor. There's only one Lex Luthor, in my opinion. This guy here, best Lex Luthor. And I don't know about this guy here. He was a great actor, played in almost, I think, thousands of movies. I mean, he's played in almost every single movie you can imagine. But I know him from the Superman, Christopher Reeve's Superman, where he played the villain Lex Luthor. But he and his wife and one of the dogs were found unalived, and the detectives are considering this to be very suspicious. And this one here was done a day ago, so I think this is the latest, I think. We're close to being the latest. But let's play this here. This guy here was such a great actor.
Appeared,
but he was old. I think he was like 93. He was definitely on the back nine. So I do know. I heard that there were pills found in where she was found, the wife was found, and he was found in a completely different room, I think. But I don't know.
Dozens and dozens of movies, major hits, sometimes the hero, sometimes the bad guy, or somewhere in between.
But always a standout. He was also an Illinois native, and as NBC5's Leanne Trotter tells us, he never forgot his Midwest roots.
This is the captain. Gene Hackman was one of the most respected
This guy is such a good actor.
actors in Hollywood. Remember what we worked on in practice. In a career that spanned over 5 decades, he earned 5 Academy Award
Mrs. Tessmacher. This guy was so funny.
nominations and won twice. Best actor for his role in The French Connection in 1972, and 2 decades later, Best Supporting Actor for his role in Unforgiven.
And he didn't have a movie star look to him.
but he was a guy who was very strong and believable. He could be funny too, and a great laugh.
Chicago native Andrew Davis directed Hackman in The Package, which was released in 1989.
I was a young director working for the first time with Tommy Lee Jones and Gene Hackman.
It was Davis's fourth film, and he says Hackman taught him a lot about directing.
I remember a couple of times when I had to really just back off and let him find himself in the scene. You know, you didn't tell Gene Hackman how to pick up the apple, you know what I mean?
In addition to acting, Gene Hackman wrote several books later in life. He grew up in Danville, Illinois, and the Danville Public Library held a book signing event in 2004.
So let me just go over here. Yeah, his pacemaker's last event was February, so he had a pacemaker. He was in the mudroom, she was in the bath. Yeah, I know. She was in. They're calling it suspicious, so that it's not like they've ruled out anything, to be honest with you. But I think they did rule out this. Didn't they rule out carbon monoxide poisoning? I thought somebody might have ruled that out. So these are some of the movies that he was in. The Mexican was a good movie. These are the two movies that I remember him the most in. He played Lex Luthor in both of these. I don't know if he played in the third one. He might have. In The Hoosiers was good. Heartbreakers here was good. All of these movies. I mean, he was such a great actor. Look at all these movies. Oh, he was in Superman 5. Okay. And then The Unforgiven for sure. Loose Cannons. I've seen almost every single one of these movies. Target was good too. Let's see here. The Poseidon Adventure. That's the other one. That was such a great movie. He was in Young Frankenstein too. I didn't know that. But these are some of the movies here. French Connection. Lilith was good. He goes back to the early 60s for sure. He was just such a great actor. That's why I'm playing this. But I think they're pretty much calling this suspicious. Both the Unalived and the Dog too. My son, a master plumber, said he thinks bad water heater vent. It could be anything. The fact that there were pills in the bathroom, though, that's weird. The Poseidon Adventure, yeah, that was such a great movie with Telly Savalas was in that too. All right, so let's play this here again.
In a statement, the library's executive director says Mr.
Journey from our small town to Hollywood stardom is a testament to his extraordinary. That's great.
Hackman's journey from our small town to Hollywood stardom is a testament to his extraordinary talent and determination. Despite his global fame, he never forgot his roots, and his story remains a source of pride for our community. Gene Hackman was 95 years old. Leanne Trotter, NBC5 News.
Authorities in New Mexico say the deaths of actor Gene Hackman and his wife are suspicious. Two-time Oscar winner and Danville native was found dead in his New Mexico home yesterday. The bodies of his wife, Betsy Arakawa, and also their dog were also found in that home. Now, investigators say it appears that they had been dead for some time, and the door to their house.
Yeah, I think they said they were pretty much unalive for 9 days. Yeah, gas company ordered to check all pipes. They said there was no sign of carbon monoxide when they got there, but it could have dissipated. Yeah, for sure. That would account for the fact that some of the dogs weren't dead. One was dead, the other ones weren't. I'm pretty sure that's what it'll come down to, but who knows?
Was open. The fire department says there were no signs of carbon monoxide poisoning. The sheriff's office says it has to wait for autopsy results to know more about what happened. But as of right now, they're not ruling out foul play.
There was no obvious sign or indication of, a foul play. There was no immediate sign of foul play. Haven't ruled that out yet. This is an investigation, so we're keeping everything on the table.
Hackman's family released a brief statement today saying he was, quote, loved and admired by millions around the world for his brilliant acting career. But to us, he was always just dad and grandpa.
So now we also want to take a look back at Gene Hackman's incredible acting career tonight. NBC5's Leanne Trotter talked to a Chicago director who worked with Hackman on a movie right here in Chicago.
That's what I signed up to do.
In 1989, Gene Hackman played Green Beret Sergeant Johnny Gallagher in The Package, a movie that was shot in Chicago and directed by Chicagoan Andrew Davis.
I think that's the only movie I didn't see him in, was this one here. But he had, I don't know, 40 or 50 movies.
It was an all Chicago crew, and you know, it was very cold, and it was terrific. You know, it was a real honor to be able to work with he and Tommy Lee Jones on that movie.
Davis recalls one cold and wet night. They were shooting on a bridge.
The gaffer said, "This is dangerous," you know, and one of the producers said, "Well, you know, in California, we keep shooting." And Gene stood up and he said, "We're not shooting. If Gino Credidio says we're not shooting, we're not shooting." He stood up for the crew, so that was great.
This is the captain.
Gene Hackman was...
Yeah, the dog in the cage would make sense, and the other dogs that were kind of just out on their own would make sense for some sort of a, I don't know, carbon monoxide type thing, or I don't know. But the fact, I agree kind of with Southern Gale here that the pills are interesting to me, because it seems like she was going to the bathroom to get some pills for him, maybe. Dog may have died from dehydration as it was. Yeah, it's hot. They're in New Mexico, so it's hot. I mean,
one of the most respected actors in Hollywood.
I mean, it's possible too that he was probably having heart problems. She went to go get medication for him, and then she tripped, hurt herself, and unalived, and the dog died from basically being not fed for 9 days. Anything's possible.
With a career that spanned over 5 decades, he was a 5-time Oscar nominee and a 2-time winner. Best Actor for his role in French Connection, and Best Supporting Actor in...
Strange how that nobody was called, right? They were there for 9 days. You would think somebody would have called a doctor or something, but carbon monoxide poisoning can be pretty dangerous. But I don't think that's rational. I just don't. But who knows?
Unforgiven. Davis says he was tough on directors.
If you read his obits, he says, "You know, I saw my father drive away and wave at me."
Yeah, I'll be getting out of here very shortly too. Thank you, Lady Monet, for coming in. It's always good to see you here in the chat. Amazing person. Let me know if you want a wrench. I can give you a wrench for sure. Yeah, he was in the Firm, The Chamber, and Runaway Jury was good too. He had just so many good movies. It's hard to. They ruled out. That's what I thought. It's hard for me to see carbon monoxide in New Mexico, but anything's possible. Yeah, I'm sure they were. I mean, it was a beautiful house. Yes, we don't know if they died at the same time. He could have found his wife deceased, and I mean that's possible. But the pills to me is strange, because she was found in the bathroom with pills, so that's telling me that she was either somebody was taking pills, or somebody was getting pills.
When I was 13, and I had a bad thing with characters who could represent fathers, and directors were always the father.
I hope you have a good week, Lady Monet. Jenny, 8675309 is in here. That's all right, Jenny. You're good. We'll be all getting out of here pretty soon anyways, but it's always good to see you here. But have a good week, Lady Monet. It's always good to see you here. Thank you.
Other characters.
Gene Hackman wrote several books later in life. He grew up in Danville, Illinois, and the Danville Public Library held a book signing event for him in 2004. In a statement, the library's executive director says, "Mr. Hackman's journey from our small town to Hollywood stardom is a testament to his extraordinary talent and determination. Despite his global fame, he never forgot his roots, and his story remains a source of pride for our community."
The thing about this is no matter what the issue is, no matter what the issue was, nobody's going to believe it anyways. My gut is CO poisoning of some sort. Yeah, I mean, it's possible that somebody broke into the house too, and maybe staged the crime. I mean, anything's possible at this point. It's going to have to wait to get some sort of a toxicology report, but who knows? Yeah, my favorite movie for him was for sure his role in Superman. I mean, he just played the great. He's an actor that could play the good guy and the bad guy at the same time. He played the good guy in the Poseidon Adventure, and he played the bad guy, Lex Luthor. I mean, he was anybody. He could play anything, good guy or bad guy. All right, so unfortunately, well, let me do one more thing, and then we'll get
Gene
out of
Hackman
here.
was 95 years old.
Yeah, he was old. He was very old. So he was pretty much on the back nine anyways, but it's still sad. It sucks. People get old. Let me see if I can find something really short to play here. Let's see here. I wanted to do a little bit of the Brian Walsh thing tonight because he had another hearing, but that's going to be too long. Let me play. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll do this here. So this happened in Londonderry, New Hampshire. I heard this on my scanner the other night while I was driving around. So let's play this here. So this happened in Londonderry, New Hampshire. It's about 30 or 40 miles away from me, but I know exactly where this is because I've been on. There used to be a roller skating rink here. There used to be a movie theater here. There used to be a Shaw's here. This is basically kind of been around here for years and years and years. So this happened. Let me share this here. Hold on a second. Stop screen. This right here. Okay, so this happened right down the road from me. Hold on a second here. I mean, anything is possible with the Gene Hackman thing, but the fact that the police aren't calling it, they're not saying anything. They're kind of not ruling out anything right now. Is who knows? All right, so here we go.
Said, all I can tell you is someone was shot.
I heard this on because I sometimes drive around with the scanner on, so I heard this on the scanner, and I was going to go over here after work, but I decided not to because this place was a beehive of activity here. This was, when was this? This was 3 days ago.
And it's going to be a while.
Winding Pond Road in Londonderry packed with police cars. Neighbors trying to get home, but met with armed officers, then the sound of gunshots.
A police officer was waving us back. He had his rifle in his hand. And then just after that, there were multiple shots fired.
The Attorney General's office says those officers were responding to shots being fired at the nearby Planet Fitness. Police identifying a suspect and stopping his vehicle less than half a mile away. Investigators say reports indicate that man was armed and confronted officers. Then multiple gunshots were fired. The man was shot and killed. Investigators say no police officers were hurt.
They said that somebody died.
Jenny is an awesome person. Jenny is just an amazing freaking person. Yeah, if there's anything we can do, let us know. I think they played in a movie together. I'm not sure. Clint Eastwood and Gene Hackman. They might have played in, but Clint Eastwood always seemed to have the same kind of actors in every movie he did. The guy that played the lead guy in the motorcycle gang in Every Which Way You Can and Any Which Way But Loose, he was in almost every single Clint Eastwood, at least the westerns for sure. I forget his name. He was the lead. He was the big heavy guy that played the lead biker in those movies. And then his wife, I don't know if it was his wife or his girlfriend at the time, but she played in almost every single Dirty Harry movie. And she actually played in, I forgot her name. She played in a couple of his westerns too. Forgot her name. So I don't know if they have actually played in the same movie together or not. They might have.
Died. And so it sounded like they were waiting for the medical examiner.
That scene blocking Winding Pond Road and neighbors stuck with no way home for hours.
So that there's been a major incident down here and the road would be closed for several hours.
And it's all townhouses. This is the only way in, the only way out.
The state police major crimes unit arrived.
This guy just apparently went to this Planet Fitness with a gun, and everybody just panicked, and the police showed up and basically unalived him. But it was pretty tense there for a few minutes, for sure.
Arriving on the scene hours later. Exactly what led up to that shooting is now under investigation.
I work in education, so I know guns are everywhere, unfortunately, and you just have to be really vigilant.
And just in the last few hours, the people who were stuck on the wrong.
That's so awesome, Paula. That's so amazing. We got to get you to 1,000, that's for sure. But 600 subs is good. That's awesome. That's fantastic. Oh, you'll be here for many, 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 many years, Gail. That's awesome news. That's awesome news, Paula, for sure.
Side of this scene, unable to get home, were told to park their cars on a nearby street. They're now being allowed to walk through the woods, finally back to their homes. This evening, we are told the road is expected to remain closed down for hours longer while police continue to look over the scene and investigate this deadly police shooting. Live in Londonderry, Ross Ketchke, WMUR News 9.
We want to show you just how close the two scenes are to each other. The suspect shot and killed here at Winding Pond Road near Lincoln Drive.
Well, this is basically 93 North, 93 South. And if you get off the highway here, this will bring you, this is 28, I believe. This will bring you all the way back towards Nashua and Salem here. But that's where there's a big mall in here. That's a gas station here, and there's a Burger King right over in this area here, kind of into Derry. But this is where all of this happened here.
That is just half a mile away from the front door of this Planet Fitness. That is where our Imani Fleming is live tonight. And Imani, you spoke to people who heard the gunshots inside that gym.
Yeah, Monica, we did. And there is still very much an active scene here behind me. Within the last hour, actually, about 4 or 5 of these police cars showed up. Before, when we checked in with you all at 10 o'clock, there was only one police car here blocked.
I don't need 1,000 subs. I just need whoever's here to chat, and I need all these other channels to do well. That's all I care about. Be nice, but I don't care about that stuff. And I know you don't either.
The front entrance of this Planet Fitness along this yellow police tape. But again, more investigators have seemed to show up. There's a lot of action going on inside of the gym. Now, officials have confirmed nobody was hurt inside of this gym today, but still, this was a very scary situation for those inside.
4 Orchard View Drive at Planet Fitness for shots fired.
The Attorney General's office.
That's exactly what I heard on the scanner, too. That's so weird.
Confirming the police shooting of a suspect on Winding Pond Road began with this shots fired incident at this Planet Fitness just down the street.
A shots fired call. Meal parties in the break room. Unsure if he's injured or not.
Yeah, I hate these. These are not made. I mean, nobody expects to, no engineer
Very scary situation.
or architect will ever, develop one of these strip malls like this here for these types of, shootings. But these fortifications here they are definitely not built to defend against a shooter like this. They're just not. Once you get inside here, there's no way out. I mean, you're just never going to get out. I was in retail for years and years, and just if somebody comes in the store with a gun, you're pretty much dead. There's no way for you to go. There's no defense whatsoever here. So once somebody gets inside one of these stores here, if they really want to, hate to say it, but if they really want to take out a lot of people, they can do that.
For those inside.
Speedy for Orchardview Drive at Planet Fitness for shots fired.
The Attorney General's office confirming the police shooting of a suspect on Winding Pond Road began with this shots fired incident at this Planet Fitness just down the street.
A shots fired call. Meal parties in the break room.
Have a good night, Paula. It's always good to see Paula here in the chat. Paula's amazing. She's got a great channel. Her channel's doing awesome. That's so amazing. She's definitely worth it. She has a great channel. We love Paula here. Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for getting her those 600 subs. That's awesome. I'll be getting out of here too. I just wanted to play this here.
I'm unsure if you think you cannot.
Officers on scene confirmed no one inside the gym was hurt, but the gunshot did send people inside scrambling for safety.
Immediately instinct after I saw the people running was to go and hide.
But for Megan Plaza, it was a routine Wednesday workout at that Londonderry Planet Fitness.
I went to the locker room, went to the treadmill just to do my warm-up walk.
That turned to a very scary afternoon when she heard yelling from outside the building, followed by a loud popping sound from inside an employees-only room.
Originally, I thought it was just like a weight in the background.
She says she knew something was wrong after watching two employees jump over the gym's front desk into the black card room.
So I ran over to the locker room and I hid in one of the skinny lockers.
And tonight, others working right next door remember the chaos too.
And then all of a sudden, the cops were just like, get back inside, get back inside. Things escalated pretty quickly.
And we are hearing from Hampton-based company Planet Fitness tonight. The company says, quote, at Planet Fitness, the safety of our team members and members is our top priority. We can confirm that there were no injuries inside the club, and we are working with police as they continue their investigation. We're live in Londonderry tonight. Imani Fleming, WMUR News 9.
All right, so that's going to do it for me. All right, I'm going to get the hell out of here. I just want to thank everybody for coming in. I appreciate all the help, all the support. Southern Gale, make sure you stay safe going down to your vacation spot down there. I think you're awesome. Southern Gale's an amazing person. She does amazing work. But she's taking a little time off, so that's fine. We'll be here when she gets back. So just stay safe. Thank you for everything you do in the chat. Jocelyn, you're amazing. Thank you so much for coming in tonight. It's good to see you here. Heather Brown, you're amazing. Let us know what happens. I'm glad you're feeling better, though. Glad you're out of surgery. Gail, sorry to hear about your mom. I hope you feel better. You're awesome here. We love you here. Jenny 8675309. Thank you for everything that you do. You're an amazing person. Let's see here. Who did I get here? Paula Fitzhenry, awesome on your lives, your subs. You're awesome. Great channel. Congratulations on the 600 subs. Keep up the good work. Charlotte, you're amazing. Thank you so much for coming in. We miss you here. I'm going to try to get another live going at some point during the week. That way I can see more of you people, especially Charlotte. I feel bad for Charlotte. She comes on and I'm pretty much getting the hell out of here. But Charlotte's amazing. We love her here in the chat. Who else was in here? I know that Mino Dino was in here. Dino's amazing. CJK was in here. CJK is great. Thank you so much, CJK, for coming in. I didn't see Honeybee tonight. I hope she's well. Honeybee is amazing. She has a great channel. She does such great work on her historical stuff. And I know who else was in here. Let's see here. Had a good chat tonight. Chat was awesome. Arctic True Fox was in there. Arctic is awesome. He's got a great channel. Lady Monet was in here. Lady Monet's great. JCN was in here. JCN's great. Appreciate all the help, all the support. She's got a great channel too. JCN does amazing work. Jocelyn, of course, she was in here. Jocelyn's great. Let's see. I'm going to miss some people. There's just Mustang 65 was in here. Mustang's awesome. Miranda Lee was great. Karen Lee was in here. Miranda Lee's awesome. Who else is in here? I'm gonna miss people. Also, a replay crew. Thank you very much, everybody that watches on the replay. I know there's a ton of people that watch on the replays, so I appreciate that. I probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the replay chat. Who else? All the lurkers too. I'm gonna miss people. I apologize. I said Karen Lee. Arctic True Fox was in here. Karen Lee's amazing. Okay, so I'm gonna just back out of here. Kimber was in here. Thank you, Kimber, for coming in. Appreciate Risk 603. Thank you for coming in. It's always good to see new people in here. Kimber's, thank you very much. If you came over from Arctic True Fox, thank you, Arctic True Fox. Arctic Fox, I don't know why I keep saying Arctic True Fox. Maybe it's because it's just late. All right, I'm out of here. I'm going to play my outro and get out of here. I'm sorry if I missed people, but let me play my outro. Thank you guys very much for staying up with me. Everybody have a safe week. Don't die, and everybody stay safe. Thank you, everybody, for all the help tonight. Appreciate it. And I'll see you guys all later. Have a great week.